'Cause I watch so many geeky film games and TV shows. Maybe if we're lucky, the further exposed the amigos. Hey, hey, get out of my way. This used to be the hot takes, so you might as well stay. It's time to listen to the Geek Getaway.
What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD. And as you can see, I'm riding solo, riding dirty by myself. Days Gaming, Gary, Ninja Kitty, Blinded Braille, they all flaked out. They said they were going to be here. Some of them said they were going to come. I don't know where they're at. We're running on island time. We're running on punk time. We're running on Mexican time, whatever you want to call it. We're late a couple minutes. Boo-hoo, go cry me a river. So we're going to be talking about Indie World from Nintendo. I didn't see it. I haven't watched it yet. We're going to watch it live with you. I'm going to give my thoughts on each of the games. I think there was about 20 games from what I am understanding. So we're going to look at them. I did watch Smash JT's video. He said he was disappointed. I've seen a lot of people talking about how they were disappointed with it. So I'm going to take a look, find out for myself if it is a disappointing Indie World, if it is something that I'm looking forward to. Are there going to be a lot of games in here that we're going to make Gary play and review? We're going to find out. But let's say what's up to everybody here. We got Evil Knievel, Albert, Tommy O. What's up, fellas? I'm sure more people will filter in as we go along. Tommy O says they look good for indie games. We'll find out. Hopefully my computer does not shit itself. It's been acting up lately. I put it on a raised platform. Maybe it was getting a little hot. It is like 90 degrees here. So we'll find out. Maybe we'll get Gary and them to pop in later. These gentlemen might be running on island time themselves. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and just get this party started. Oh shit, wrong screen. Technical difficulty right off the bat. What's up, James? Gib. Shared the wrong screen. It happens. There we go. You want to share the YouTube screen, not the press release screen. Gary said he already changed his smoke detector battery, so it should be good. Tommy O says, I think I'd be into every game they showed. That's interesting. Yay. The fucking shit decided to act up. It's just what we need. There we go. Well, as you can see, all the games are going to be rating pending to mature 17 plus. We might get some of those infamous Nintendo rape games, the Nintendo adult themed games that Tommy Tellerico's always famously crowing about.
Hello and welcome.
Motherfucker. Let's try that again. As you can see, technical difficulties all over the place. All right, we're going to try to run this in 360p. Blinded Braille says, get ready for disappointment. I want you to hop in here, Blinded. Keep me company so we can be disappointed together. He says all the games look the fucking same. Ooh. We'll find out. Full screen this bitch. All right, so it says, please note, due to COVID-19, release dates and other information presented in this video are subject to change. For potential further updates, please check the official Nintendo website and social media channels, as well as those of other publishers. Always good to start off with a nice little warning. It always fills me with confidence.
Hello and welcome to Indie World. I'm Ariko.
And I'm Amber. We're back today to showcase a slew of indie games coming to the Nintendo Switch system.
Our indie partners span the globe, from Sweden to Australia and Japan. And we can't wait to see what they've been cooking up. So let's get started.
All right, so the first game they're showing off is Ooblets, which is very interesting because I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ooblets. It has been like 2 years since they announced the game. There was a huge controversy about Ooblets because on PC for Windows, it is a Epic Store exclusive, at least right out the gate. So I think there's a 1-year exclusivity deal with Epic Store for Ooblets. There was a big controversy. The devs got all kind of harassment. People were sending them death threats over this. Now, what's up, Blinded?
What's up?
So you were disappointed with this indie world?
All I did was this. I skipped through it, looked at all the games, and I was like, yeah, this was mediocre. And then I saw, RG80T's video, and then I was like, yeah, this looks pretty bad.
Well, I was at work all day. I didn't get a chance to watch anybody's videos. I seen Smashes right before we went live. He said he was disappointed.
Yeah, he made a video too. I'm just shocked that they put this out.
I mean, they got to put something out every once in a while, right?
I mean, all of these could have just been fucking on Twitter, just like, you know what I mean? Because, this all just looks the same.
I don't know what you mean yet. I haven't seen it.
You know what I'm talking about. Tom, you know what I'm talking about. Listen, I'm not saying these games are bad, but there's no variety here, right? I don't know if it's just the state of indie gaming on the Switch, but I don't believe that because there are good indie games on the Switch.
What's up, Evie? Dean wants to know, how's this live when it happened in the afternoon? I didn't say the indie world was live. I said the reaction was live. Learn how to English, Dean. Albert said, how many fingers am I holding up?
Based on that emoji, I guess 5. I'm not blind.
No, I think he was referring to because it's supposed to be live.
I don't get that.
Well, if it's not live, then you wouldn't be able to answer the question.
Okay.
Dean asked if it was live.
Oh, I think I'm confusing the two comments. Never mind.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Dean says, why are you doing it now and not live? We didn't do it live because I was at work and Gary didn't want to do it live. And Blinded was disappointed.
Yeah. I was just working on some other stuff.
Yeah. It's one of those things everything gets released when I'm not around. All the indie showcases, all the Nintendo Directs, PlayStation shit, Xbox things, E3. Nothing's ever at a time when I'm going to be home unless I take a vacation or a day off on that particular day. And I'm not going to take a day off for an indie world. Maybe an E3, maybe. Definitely
yeah, there's no point. No. There's no point in taking off work for this. Come on now.
Yeah.
Even for E3, I probably wouldn't. Sometimes when I was at work, I would just watch it on my phone, in secret. Just put it on.
Maybe if we were a big enough channel, if we were making $200 worth of ad revenue for watching it live or something, or you guys were sending me fucking super chats because you love me so much, then maybe I would take a day off work, but not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Albert says this shit is old news. It's old news to you guys. It's new news to me.
I mean, just get ready for a disappointment.
Ooblets, I've heard about it 2 years ago. Big controversy. They got death threats. People were harassing them. Didn't like the fact that it was an Epic Store exclusive. So let's see what it looks like.
Oh, don't you just love games that are cozy and weird?
Oh, I absolutely do. This charming creature collection and farm simulation game from Glumberland has everything to give you the warm fuzzies. Grow and train adorable little creatures called ooblets as you cultivate new life in the blossoming community of Badgetown.
Customize your character.
Did they just say the name of the town is Badgetown?
I did not hear that. Go back. We got to go back now.
As you cultivate new life in the blossoming community of Badgetown.
Customize
Oh
your
my God. How did they not?
I'm sold. If we're gonna live in Badgetown, hell yeah.
What were they thinking?
I have
Oh
no
my
idea.
God. Because vegetables, like, oh my God.
Oh, it's
By the way, this-
Badgetown.
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 Okay.
She just has a really bad pronunciation.
That's weird. But this looks like Bug Snack. Like, this looks like Animal Crossing meets Bug Snacks. So,
Retro Bro wants to know if these are new Amico games. You want to get in on this, Retro Bro? Give your reactions live. I'll send you a link if you want to hop in. It looks like a combination Stardew Valley, Pikmin, a little bit. Getting those vibes.
the whole vegetable thing, that looks exactly like Bug Snacks. Like Bug Snacks, you were like in this town or whatever, and I don't know about this. This looks kind of. People seem to like in the chat, but like this looks mediocre to me. Like been there, done that.
Beefy says, trick question, there are no Amico games. Do you even go to Badgetown, bro? Yeah, I swear to God, I heard fucking Badgetown. You heard it too.
Yes, I did hear it. Yes.
That lady needs to enunciate. Dekuman says Bug Snacks is on Switch already. Yeah, I thought that was like an exclusive for PlayStation. And I saw it pop up on Switch. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It's on Game Pass too. If anybody has that.
So does Ooblets look like something that you would play?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's got to be.
To me, it looks okay. Like I do like farming games. I like, Stardew Valley. I always say it's one of my favorite games. I'm always going back to it. I love the what the hell's the other ones? Harvest Moon series. Love those fucking games. So that aspect got me interested, but the whole like little creature thing and some of the aesthetics, I'm getting like a Gen Z millennial vibe that I'm probably not gonna.
Yeah, I hate the art style.
Carl's the mayor.
Looks corporate.
Yeah. So I gotta see more of this before I decide one way or the other. But I'm leaning towards no. Tommy O says I would play with my daughters. I think the hipster art style would draw them in. Hipster. That's what I was looking for. That's what it is. It's got like a hipster vibe.
Character. Befriend the locals. Decorate your house. Run your own shop. And most importantly, have epic dance battles. You can even dress up your Ooblet pal and travel to different locations. Visit the arcade-packed boardwalk in Port Forward. Saunter through the spooky swamps of nowhere and ascend the frozen peaks of Tippy Top.
Ooblets waddles its way onto Nintendo Switch this summer. Colorful and mesmerizing planets awaits in this.
So now you said every game looks the same, right? You're like, they all look the same. This in no way looks anything like Ooblets.
No, you got to keep watching. That's what I mean. Because there's the games that look exactly like Ooblet and this.
Right? A few of them probably have a similar aesthetics.
Did you see all the games, or is this like your first impression? I'm confused.
This is my first impression. Ooblets is probably the only one that I've known about because of the controversy.
Keep
I know
watching until the end.
This is a Team 17 game, so I'm interested already just on that. We'll watch.
Fuck.
Find out. See, Beefy's confused. He thought this was still Ooblets. See?
Fast-paced action RPG across the cosmos. In this deeply story-driven game by Stormmind Games, you'll use both strength and wits to interact with others and conquer the challenges ahead.
Balancing the duality of your physical and mental powers is key. Sacrifice one for the other against opponents and things might not turn out well for you. Ultimately, your conscience will carry the weight of.
Look, Blinded, you get to play as Avril Lavigne. Who wouldn't want to play this game?
Not me. Definitely not me. This game will put me to sleep.
I think it looks
I'll
interesting.
kill myself after this game.
Tommy O, I agree with him. He says this game looks cool as fuck to me.
Didn't he just say everything in this fuck, I just lost. Everything in this showcase was good. I question.
He did say everything was interesting. He said he was interested in everything.
Yeah, but are you going to play it? That's the big thing.
Retro Bro says, I remember when indies weren't like every other game. That's because indies didn't get the spotlight. Like, there's so many people just making games that there's probably like 10-1 indies to like AAA games being made in all due reality.
Yeah. I mean, probably one person can make some of these games in like probably like 2, 3, 4 years. So, I mean, it makes sense.
BB says Avril and Ooblets confirmed here first. Yeah, see? It's an exclusive.
Oh,
Albert wants to play with Avril Lavigne too. See, I agree. Retro Bro says, to be fair, everything is fun when you're high. I don't think Tommy's always high. All right, I do have the press release that went along with this. They don't have all 20 games. They have like 15 of them. And this says it's a hack and slash twin stick shooter. So that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Man, where's the joy in your life, Blinded? What happened to you? What did she do to you?
I'm enjoying Switch Sports right now. I'm talking and playing the game at the same time.
Right. Let's watch more of this.
Your decisions. What kind of hero will you become? Choose your destiny in Batora, Lost Haven, launching on Nintendo Switch this fall.
こんにちは、生高橋です。エルケッドがもうすぐ Nintendo Switch で遊べるようになります。エルケッドは私が学生時代の頃、流れるというテーマのコンテスト向けに好きなゲームからインスピレーションを受けて開発したプロトタイプ作品になります。私が学生を卒業した後に それをブラッシュアップしたのが
Look, they're using the Telerico method. They took a student game and they fleshed it out a little bit and turned it into a full-fledged experience. If you guys weren't following along, he says he was a student. He did a student project. The basis of it was flow, was like the theme, I guess. It's a one-man development team. So it's a 2D puzzle platformer. You play as a small robot on a mission to bring back light to the world. When he touches walls, floors, platforms, and switches, he activates them by making electricity run through them. He can also detach and throw his head to trigger things remotely, but if he doesn't get his head back in 10 seconds, he'll shut down. Sounds interesting. Let's see a little bit more of this.
本作になります。シンプルな操作と直感的なルールからは想像もできないようなひらめく体験をご用意しておりますので、ぜひ Nintendo Switch で楽しんでみてください。
So what are you thinking about Leckhead? Blinded.
Look. Hold on, give me a second. I mean, it looks all right. I'm just saying, like, none of this stuff. Listen, I'm here for moral support. Okay. So.
I think it looks good. It has a. I don't know why it has a Mega Man vibe, but it's just the way the level designs are made. Which, to be fair, is probably like 90% of all indie games have the same feel to it. I think they use the same software.
Yes.
It's like the same game maker software. You can tell like the edges and everything. It has there's just a certain look. If you mess around with the software, you'll get it. You'll understand the look.
I think it's just the pixel art, like whoever designed it, because there's a lot of these pixel art. Come on, give me a second. Yeah, there's a lot of these pixel art games that kind of look the same. But when I go on Reddit, there was like a subreddit that does pixel art. And a lot of the stuff I see on there is like way more impressive. And there's a lot of people who are developing games too. And they're like showing off their, like assets and stuff. So like for this does look very like Mega Man, kind of Metroid a little bit. But I don't know. I'm not really feeling it.
It's got a nice mechanic. I mean, everything he touches gets electrified, and he's got to solve puzzles by turning on and off different things. I mean, it's an interesting mechanic, in my opinion.
I don't know. It just has that. It's too samey. And I mean, like, no offense to whoever who's making this. It's just that I think sometimes these indie developers see what other people are doing and they kind of learn it. But there's really no creativity put into what they're making because it's like, oh, well, I'm kind of inspired by this or this is a homage. And it's like, I don't know. Everybody else's is a homage, right? So.
Well, it was a student project that he said he took inspiration from other puzzle platformers.
Yeah.
I think it looks okay. I mean, depending on price, like if this was like a $15 game, I would say no. But if this is like a $5 game, I say, this could be worth it. This could be worth $5.
If it's a student game, then it must be either really good or like someone, there's like potential there because I don't know. It just doesn't look that interesting to me. You know what I mean? Like, I think that the problem with this live stream was that they needed just more variety, right? Like that was the big issue with it. It's like you're getting a lot of these side scroller type of games. It's like, okay, like
We've only had 3 games. And so far, we had one was a farming game, one was a twin stick shooter, and this is a puzzle play. That's variety right there, just from the first 3 games.
Just continue watching it.
I'm the old man who's supposed to be cranky, like, these games all look the same. You're supposed to be the wide-eyed, innocent, young student kid. It's like, oh my God, look how creative these are. Why are
Tommy's going like in the chat, creativity, the mechanic. It's like, bro, it's been done that. They even said it's a student game. It's like, yeah, it's like watching a student short film. You're like, oh yeah, that's creative, but it's just a student short film. What am I supposed to do? It's just sort of like, okay, make a couple more and let's see where you're at. You probably will be better.
Dean says these games might be too hard for you. That's the problem.
Yeah, none of these games are too hard for me.
I think it looks good. I think this one looks good. Like I said,
that's the damage control. That's the damage control excuse, though. It's like, you guys can like it. I'm not saying you guys don't like it. I'm giving my opinion, right? So
I'm not harassing you. I'm just letting you know what the chat's saying.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying, like, that's usually what the type of comments you're gonna say, right? When someone doesn't like something you like, then it's that. Well.
But like I said, to me, this looks okay. Depending on price and length of the game, right? That would really depend on the value. But I could see myself dropping $5 for this to play it. Maybe I just have too much disposable income because I literally just bought the Nintendo Online Plus for no reason today. That was like 12 months. If I get $60.
That's actually, I think they're going to continue updating that. That actually might be a good deal over time. I have it too. It's all right.
We'll find out. And I bought a SD card, so now I could download all my games, and I don't have to worry about filling up my Switch. Moving up in the world. Got the capture card. Got the fucking SD card for the Switch. Got a computer coming either this week or next week, depending on when it gets here. We might be onto something, boys. We might be big time pretty soon. Let's continue on with this indie world.
Hey, if you're looking for a clever and challenging 2D puzzle platformer, then we've got just the game for you from Nama Takahashi, a one-person development team. Here, you're a small robot named Alec, who's on a mission to restore light to the world while navigating a booby-trapped facility. By using your electrifying powers to touch walls, floors, platforms, and switches, electricity will charge through them and bring them to life.
Hey, don't get ahead of yourself. Well, actually, you should. Detach and throw your head to trigger objects. You'll need to retrieve it within 10 seconds, or else. There are plenty of hidden rooms and secrets to discover, so use your head, literally, to explore every nook and cranny of the facility.
Alec Head bolts on to Nintendo Switch this summer.
Show you a place where you will move your feet until they start to bleed. DJ, take it away. Tonight it's all for you and me.
Look at this, Blinded. You're telling me you don't think this looks good? Anime opening on this?
Nah. It looks fine.
Man. Evie wants to go to Vagtown.
Yeah, Vagtown would probably be better than this.
You want to hold $1? Is that what you're telling me, D-Reed? You want to hold $1? I don't know. This one right here with Soundfall from Drastic Games and Noodle Cake. Fast-paced, rhythm-based dungeon crawler. How is that not interesting? Combines looter shooter action with musical gameplay.
Oh God, looter shooter! Come on.
But it's musical. It's a musical looter shooter.
Oh my God.
500 different pieces of equipment.
How many looter shooters do we have?
I don't know how many.
Let's
anything
continue
we have.
watching it. I don't know. I'm
140
sick of.
songs to choose from.
Listen. I'm sick of looter shooters. Not to say that they're bad, but like, I feel like everybody's trying to ape off of it to like. It's sort of like a gimmick to get you to like continuously playing the game. And usually, like to me, it's like, oh, it's a red flag for microtransaction. But I don't think this has microtransactions, so I'll give
Well,
it
this
the benefit
has
of the doubt.
online and local up to 4 players co-op,
Okay.
dynamically generated levels, encounters inspired by music. Like I said, 140 different songs to choose from. Come on, man. You're telling me none of that sounded interesting to you at all? You're just like,
No.
I
mean, you just
there,
didn't
there
know.
was a word salad, but I thought some of it sounded interesting. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just more
That was
optimistic.
totally word salad. I think you guys give the indie games like too much. Like this is what I don't get, right? Like you guys give the indie games a little bit more credit, but then you guys shit on the AAA games or like games that are like, this is not that bad. Where you're like, I mean, there's a little bit more innovation going on there or some creativity, right? I get it. It's
I just like games that are
fucking
fun.
multi-million-dollar. Yeah, sure, yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like that's what I've kind of observed.
But I'm
It's
saying
like the
like,
indie stuff. Oh crap! I just lost. Yeah,
For me
continues.
personally, I don't care if it's indie or AAA. I don't care if it's innovative or samey. I just care that it's fun, right? Like if a game is fun, I'll let
Sure.
you know. But hey, this is a fun game. This is not a fun game. It's got some bugs or don't got some bugs or. Retro Bro says I agree. The majority of indie games are ass. Having said that, most major AAA games are now coats of paint on an old game.
Sure. I mean, there are AAA. I mean, there's Ubisoft. Like, I'm not defending AAA games. I'm just saying that there are better indie games and there are better AAA games. And this indie showcase was clearly not like the best showcase. Like, it's all right if you like the games, but it's like I'm not like like this is compelling to me, right? This looks a little bit different. You know, it's just sort of like what we've been getting from this sort of I don't know. I guess just the indie sphere, right? That's just how I feel.
All right, so I'm going to kind of push back a little bit on this Retro Bro comment. He says the majority of indie games are ass. I'm going to push back because I think we need to start separating indie games from like acid flip, just crap, right? There's games that are just crap, and they're technically indie because it's like a small one-man studio, but he's just taking assets and flipping them. You know, it's just a shitty game because he was just trying to make a quick buck, like making a meme game or something, right?
But I think it's hard to define indie though because it's like there are AAA developers that are independent and they publish it, right? So it's like you know what I mean? Like the wording is a little bit off in my opinion. Like we're and just like the previous game was like a one-man show, right? And it's like there's a lot of one-man indie games that got massively popular that are actually good, right? But I think those ones everybody's now trying to copy. That's the reason why I'm like, indie games are like they're kind of hit and miss. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are hit and miss in the gaming industry. It just is what it is.
Bro says majority of them are shovelware. Spend 5 minutes on Steam. There are more turds than hits. Yes, I agree with that. There's more turds than hits, but also what I'm saying is some of those turds are like purposefully turds, right? Like the developer actually wasn't trying to make a game, right? You can tell like when someone's trying to make a game and someone just like, hey, if I just take some assets and put it on the store for $1, maybe I can get 100 idiots to buy it, right?
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, we got to kind of actually separate. Like, was this a legitimate effort, this game, or was this game just something that someone slapped together to try to make some money off of it? Like, that's not, to me, that's not a really like an indie game. Like, you'll go on PlayStation Store and you'll see them too. Like, there's a whole studio where it's like hentai versus evil, and it's just like asset flip, like FPS basic like shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the guy was legitimately trying to make a game. I think he was just trying to like make something silly that hopefully like a PewDiePie or somebody picks up on it, and then everybody's like, look at this crappy game, let's all buy it because it's funny. But let's continue on with this because I'm interested in this. Music, I like music. 140 different songs. Tommy O is going crazy in the chat.
I literally just said that. I don't know what is he talking about. I literally said all video games are hit and miss. That's the industry. So like,
I think he's talking about bro because bro said.
I think he was referring to me. I was the one that said hit and miss, and it's like I literally said every single video game, AAA or not, is hit and miss. It's just how it is.
Bro says that these places should have better quality control. They did. That's the thing. Like, remember they had the Steam Greenlight thing, and then people complained because not enough games were going through. It's either you let everything go through, or then you close it off, and then people complain that poor indie devs can't get anything on the major consoles because you're holding them back, and it's a headache either way, right? So I think they were just like, fuck it, put everything out there, and if you buy it and it's shit, it's your fault. It's like YouTube, right? We wish that YouTube would be nothing but quality, but then this stream probably wouldn't exist because we're shit and no one wants to watch us.
Well, yeah, that's the I guess the flaw of an open platform, right? Like if you can upload any game to Steam and get it approved, and yeah, that's just gonna happen. There's gonna be a lot of junk.
Ooh, bro's rewriting history. He says that kind of shit that goes on Steam is the same thing that caused the gaming crash during Atari. I don't think too many games caused the gaming crash. I think that's revisionist history. Dean says press play. Come on. This isn't that kind of stream. This is the kind of stream where we do a lot of talking, not a lot of watching. You know that. We could go like fucking an hour.
I'm barely watching. Like I'm playing. And I have like my phone in the corner, and I just like look.
I will push play right now though, because I'm interested. Sorry.
Feel the beat and Soundfall. This fast-paced, rhythm-based dungeon crawler from Noodle Cake and Drastic Games combines looter-shooter action with musical gameplay that'll keep you on your toes.
And tapping your toes. As a guardian of harmony, you're transported to the world of Symphonia to battle the forces of discord. Move to the music solo or with up to 4 players locally or online as you restore harmony to Symphonia's corrupted lands. Levels and encounters are dynamically generated from the music, and there are over 140 songs to choose from. So pick the tune you want to hear before jumping into the fray.
Time your actions to the music and your power will increase. There are 5 different musical heroes to choose from, over 500 pieces of equipment for skill customization, and thousands of loot combinations, giving you opportunities for multiple playthroughs.
Get your head bopping to Soundfall, launching on the Nintendo Switch system later today.
Yeah, it looked good to me. It's not the internet. Everybody says it's the internet. It's not the internet. 100% not the internet. The issue is
the
StreamYard, the lag and everything. The StreamYards on my laptop, it's probably taking up so much of the fucking CPU that playing the video just fucking lags. Like, it looks fine here on my end. I got great internet. I did an internet speed test.
It is laggy. Like, it's skipping
OBS
all over the place. Yeah.
Oh crap! I was gonna say, if you watch the video I did on the Printy collection, like I literally used the capture card to record footage, and the footage was like laggy.
Yeah, it's just what it is. Like, it's gonna be a couple of years before like the latency fucking gets better. Even
I
if you
think,
have
like
like
I said,
really good internet.
once I get the tower, once I get the PC, I think it'll be a little bit better. I really, because like I said, this is like a fucking 12-year-old vile laptop that's been dropped. The screen's broken. It's fucking overheating now. Come on, give me a break. But either way, I think there probably is going to be DLC, but I think it's going to be songs because there's 140 different songs. I think there's probably going to be like they're going to get more popular artists, actual artists, to make songs for the game.
All right, that's cool.
Is that why you're an Amico YouTuber? The lag? Yeah, that's what it is, Beefy. Come on, you know how we do it here. We're not pros. I can drop it down. Maybe that'll help. Drop it down to 240. You lose some of the quality, but you might get less lag. We'll see. What's this next game? Wild Frost? All right. So far, nothing's looked the same to me, Blinded. I don't know what you're talking about. Everything looking the same.
They all look the same. They all look like stuff that we've gotten in the past.
Why is it freezing in here?
You better be ready to weather the snowstorm in Wild Frost. Take on the harsh elements in this tactical roguelike deck builder from Deadpan Games. Build and customize your deck as you set off to put an end to the eternal frost.
Card companions and items are at your disposal. Use them to battle wave after wave of monsters, from the deceptively cute penguins to brash and brutal bosses. Plan your next move using the dynamic counter system and fell those frosty fiends. After each run, try daily challenges or expand the hub town of Snowdwell to unlock new events and cards. Helpful for your fight against the perpetual winter.
Wild Frost makes its snowy debut on Nintendo Switch this holiday.
You're not interested in that deck builder game, Blinded?
No, definitely.
It's from Chucklefish. It's the guy behind Stardew Valley.
No, I don't care about the deck builder game.
Man, I do care. Like Slay the Spire is a great deck building game. Love that. Had a lot of fun with that. This looks good. I like deck builders. I like these type of games. A little strategic element, a little RPG-ish mechanics going on. It looked pretty good. It looked interesting to me. Again, maybe this is just me.
I don't mind strategy games. It's just that one was just whatever. Like I said, I really like. It's gonna be weird continuing because like I already made up my mind. Like I seen the whole presentation.
I mean, I'm not saying they're innovative games and these are like, oh my god, brand new ideas.
And to be fair,
I'm
my
just saying
opinion is
it was
somewhat
fun.
tainted because I watched other people talk about it as well. So I skipped through the video, then I watched a couple of videos and I shut it off and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to dunk on it. So that's why I'm like cynical or like negative.
Tommy says nothing looks the same and everything looks interesting. So far, I'm interested in at least 3 of the games.
I still say, are you going to buy these games though? Like, there's a bunch of games that look interesting, but are you going to pay the money, play the game, and beat the game?
It depends on how much they cost. Like I said, a Lek Head, $5 definitely would play it and beat it. This one, Wild Frost, I could see myself paying $15 for it.
Why don't we look up
Last
these
one,
prices after?
$20 Soundfall, I'll pay that. I'll buy that. Look decent. I like looter shooters. Ooblets, I was on the fence with that. And Vittoria, I mean, Team 17 makes some good games. They made a lot of good co-op games. What the hell is that? Moving out. See, Beefy says there's a few that he'd wish list. Look at that. Ninja Kitty says Gunbrella, which I haven't seen anything of yet, and Curse Golf.
That game did look good. That's later on, but
I think you're too cynical, Blinded. You've aged.
I literally just praised one game.
All right, well, let's move on. Like I said, this Wild Frost looked good good to me. Thumbs up from me. I'm interested. I want to know more.
Hej, jag heter Hanna. Och jag heter Rebecca. We're from Landfall Games, a small game studio based in Stockholm, Sweden. And we are excited to announce that our game, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, or TAPS for short, will be coming to Nintendo Switch.
We first started working on TAPS in 2016. The idea was to make a game that is inspired by the feeling you got when playing with your action figures as a kid. We then added the strategy and fighting elements and turned the game into the wobbly experience that it is today.
Our wonderful community has been with us along the way and helped us shape the game with their suggestions and feedback. So together with them, we're proud to bring TAPS to this awesome platform.
Ooh.
Do the wobble wobble.
Wait, what?
You heard that right. In this fighting game from Landfall Games, you'll lead teams of over 100 wobblers in battle, hailing from ancient lands, spooky worlds, and fantasy realms.
Those wobbly physics are very wobbly.
Oh, they're awesome! And those aren't your garden variety battles either. Watch your wobblers flail and fail in silly simulated battles. Or make new ones in the unit creator and customize their size, weight, and speed, among other stats. Can't get enough of the wobble? Send them to fight your friends in online multiplayer mayhem. Say it with me. It's wobbling time.
You never cease to amaze me. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. Wobbles. It's way onto Nintendo Switch this summer.
Okay, this one looked dumb. I was not feeling it. Ninja Kitty says it's from 2016. It's old. Yeah, it looks stupid. It looks like it's trying to be quirky. Like, oh, look, they wobble around. When she said it's wobbling time, that reminded me of the Morbius movie when he says it's morbing time.
Oh, I was thinking. I didn't even see that movie. I was thinking The Thing. You know, it's clobbering time.
You didn't see it? Morbius said there's a part of the movie.
I have no intentions of watching that movie whatsoever.
He's like, it's morbing time, and he like morbs the guy.
God no.
But,
When Ninja Kitty talks about trash, that's what I would deem trash.
Dean says nope, best game. No, that's trash. It's definitely that looks like something you would find on the hell's that website? Free one.
What, like a Flash website for games?
Yeah. Where you just fucking it's like a demo where you just like just like put a bunch of dudes and they just like wobble against each other. Like you play it for 5 minutes.
Like a mobile game. Yeah.
So that looked dumb. I'll agree. I wouldn't have put that on there. Tabs was a bad choice. Right off the bat, this looks really good. Look at the sprite work on this. You're telling me that this does not look good?
Yeah, this one was pretty good. This was another one that was pretty good.
This is Gunbrella. So
yeah,
Newground.
This is the one that was
talking about, Tommy.
This is the one that Ninja Kitty was talking about. Yeah.
Like I said, it looks good. I don't even know what the hell it's about, but just look at it. It's fucking oozing sprite work, and I love it. I love it.
If it was more of this, I wouldn't complain. but it was not. So
This right here, I always say this. This game looks like what my memories of Nintendo are. Like when you look at Nintendo, like no, this Nintendo looks like shit now, right? But when you remember it, you're like, that's how you remember it. It looked that good.
no, that's interesting.
You never had that, like where you imagine, like you remember playing an old game, you're like, man, that game was so awesome. And then you go back and play, you're like, man, this game looks like shit. What the fuck was I smoking?
Yeah, I did have that thought, but I would have to think about it. Like mostly just games on like PS2. Because remember, I'm fucking youngling.
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy VII. That game looked fucking badass when it came out. Then you go back and you're like, man, this game looks like shit. What the hell was I thinking?
It is weird. Like I heard like a lot of people say the Ocarina of Time 3D looks like how they remembered the N64 game. And it is, yeah, it's like it does look kind of similar, but it's obviously the polygons look fucking off, right? So
all right, let's check more out of this Gunbrella. Yeah, PS2 looks bad going back.
Yeah, it does.
You're a gruff woodsman on a quest for revenge in this noir punk action adventure from Doinksoft. Armed with the titular Gumbrella, you'll maneuver through various locations, from a cultish town to a junkyard fortress. Use the Gumbrella to glide, swing, dash, dive, and take out enemies in gritty side-scrolling combat.
Along the way, you'll scavenge for scraps and spare parts to upgrade the Gumbrella. And employ your sleuthing skills to assist a cast of increasingly bizarre characters in a world rapidly losing its natural resources. And that's just the beginning of your investigation. Plenty of dark twists and turns lie ahead.
Gumbrella launches on Nintendo Switch next year.
Also, that title sounds like a Grindhouse movie. Like a made-up Grindhouse movie. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, see, King of All Bugs says, I think Ridge Racer on PlayStation was amazing in 1995. Now, nope. It looks good. Sounds really interesting. I want to know more. It's a year away, so that kind of sucks. But I will say this: the host.
Yeah, that was another thing about that game. I think that was the only game that was on there that was 2023, which was strange. It's like, why even show it? Like, why not show it like in the fall? You know what I mean?
But the host on this thing, on this little indie world, man, they sound bored.
No, I don't blame them.
They got no pep in their step. They sound bored, and they're just like, feels like they're reading a script. Like none of it sounds natural. Like they got to get better host. Tommy O says the color limitations on the NES sprites, you can only have 3 or 4 colors per sprite, but they blend together a lot better on a CRTV, so you don't notice. No, I understand. I understand all the technical limitations on old games. I'm just saying your memory of things, right? Like when you remember
how you
things,
perceive it.
Yeah, because there's so much better. Like when I was little, everything was like, oh my God, the eyes of a child, as they say. You're looking through the eyes of a child. And you're remembering the feeling, the nostalgia, everything. It's combining in your brain to create an experience that isn't accurate to the reality of what it was, right? That's all I'm saying.
That happens with a lot of things like music and movies and pictures and all different types of stuff.
I bet if you picture the first time you got laid, Tommy O, it's a magical experience. And if you watched it, like if you had recorded it and watched it, you'd be like, damn, that was a clumsy, ridiculous 2 minutes of my life.
Yeah, that's perfect analogy or comparison or whatever it may be.
So that's all I'm saying. Not saying that they're bad. Not saying that they're ruined or anything. I'm just saying when you look at them through the eyes of an adult in a different context, you're like, man, this wasn't as you can't. Sometimes, for me at least, sometimes I will go back to a game and play it, and I'll be like, damn, now it's ruined for me. Now I can't trust my memories of it. That's just moving on.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared Huntley, lead programmer on We Are OFK.
And I'm Luca LaFay, lead singer of the band OFK.
We're super excited to announce that our music biopic game is coming to Nintendo Switch.
Yes! Ooh, I can play it on a tour bus. Ugh, I can't wait to tour together.
We haven't seen each other since that music video brainstorm at your place in LA in 2019?
Yeah, wow. And with the game on handheld, it'll be easy to play the new episodes that are coming out every single week, back to back to back.
Can't wait to share OFK's story and music with y'all.
Hey Jared, can I get your opinion on tour outfits?
This musical narrative from indie pop band OFK is gonna take you on quite the emotional ride. Set in downtown Los Angeles, Itsumi Saito struggles to establish herself in LA's ruthless music scene while managing a full-time job, a social life, and a brutal commute. But a chance encounter with a rising Hollywood music producer may give her the edge she needs to achieve her dreams.
Through episodes released weekly and interactive music videos with a fully voiced cast, you'll witness the lives of Itsumi and her friends unfold.
You're allowed to take a break and not be okay for a second.
Thank you.
From fighting over song lyrics at band practice to sending silly memes via text, it's a heartfelt making of the band journey that's sure to pull at your heartstrings.
We Are OFK. Drums onto Nintendo Switch this summer.
Tamio says this isn't for me, but looks unique. I don't know.
Thought you said you liked everything.
This game, bro. Yeah, this game looks so indie. It has the typical.
They keep showing this game. I don't know why. It's like they showed. It's either they showed this at the PlayStation State of Play or the last Nintendo Direct. But it's like, oh my god, like they just keep showing it off. It's freaking annoying.
It does not look good. Like I said, it has a very. I don't want to use the word SJW, but it has an SJW indie look to it. Like there's a certain look that a lot of those games have.
It's supposed to be, isn't it supposed to be like there's like a real band or something like that, and then they made the game
like that.
Yeah,
it's like a real fictional band, but it looks like because they're saying they're still releasing weekly fucking chapters or whatever the fuck they want to call them. It sounds to me like you're just gonna be watching a movie. Like there can't be any choices or any kind of like decision making, right? Like it can't be like a Telltale game. If they haven't got everything finished, they can't have you make any weird choices that are gonna veer off the narrative.
Well,
in two directions.
I'm not sure what you mean by that because the Telltale games were episodic, and they would like there was like months in between episodes.
Yeah, but they sounded planned out. This sounds more like
Yeah, finish.
Yeah, this doesn't sound finished. This sounds like something they're just making up as they're going along.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, because I know from what I heard that Telltale games, they actually had somewhat of an idea, but they would actually change it like sometimes midway through. Like especially it's very noticeable with the season 2 of The Walking Dead. Like that game, like characters show up and are referring to shit that never happens, and it's really weird.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of that in this.
Yeah.
Like if you gotta like plan this out so meticulously, like in order to give people choices to make it seem natural, or else you get shit like you said, like they just start referring to things that didn't happen or events that you chose differently, or they force you like, you know, it'll be like, do you want to go to the town? You'll be like, no, and they'll be like, well, you got to go to the town anyway. So like you made the choice, but it still took you to the town because fuck you. You know, we have to move it in a certain direction.
Mhm.
So from everything they showed, it didn't even look like there was any sort of choice. It just looked like you were just watching a fucking little movie shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I guess a visual novel, like clicking a button, is technically interactivity, but not really, like in the barest sense of the word.
Yeah, I don't even like. I like the Telltale's games, and I kind of played a little bit of Life is Strange. I wanted to play more of that, but I don't mind the genre. But I think sometimes it does get very lazy. Just look at some of the the Telltale games. It gets really lazy.
Tommy says
It's
you're
not even a
inventing
game.
problems for this game. I'm not inventing. I'm just talking. These are common problems with any kind of narrative-based, story-driven game where you have choices. Either you get the illusion of choice, and it's very obvious that nothing you choose matters, or you get the game is so vague in order to allow you to make choices, and then the game can't refer to things because there's so many choices out there.
Yeah, I mean the choice usually in those type of games, the choice is an illusion anyway because you arrive at the same destination. So
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, if people like those kind of games, that's that's what they're into. I'm definitely not into visual novels or anything like that.
yeah.
All right. Let's see what else we got going. We got a couple more games. We might have some more gold hidden in there somewhere.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Hi, I'm Dom.
And I'm Tom.
And we're Spiral Circus.
We are an indie games developer based in Bristol, UK. And
I don't know why, but Tom looks like he's being held hostage with a gun pointed at him off screen. He's very rigid. He's like, I'm Tom.
He looks scared as fuck.
Yeah, like,
I had to
please play
look.
my
Oh
game.
my god.
They will shoot me. Like, people need to relax. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
He's probably not used to on camera. That tends to happen. So
That's why you don't put people like that on camera. Like, sometimes I think, like, you shoot this right and you watch it and you go, no, that didn't work. Like, let's get somebody else. Fuck Tom. Put somebody else out there.
yeah, they should just get the PR person to fucking talk. You know what I mean? Let the developer write down the shit that they want to advertise and let someone else just say it. Fuck,
Or just voice over, like, show the game and then have Tom talking so you don't see that he looks all uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah.
Like me, just be a faceless avatar like I am. Then no one knows what the hell you're doing or how weird and uncomfortable you look.
Yeah, just throw up gameplay over it. I mean, you're advertising a game anyway. I'm not buying this guy, right? So
Yeah, I'm not buying Tom. You can't buy Tom anyway. They outlawed that like several years back or something. Let's see what else we got going on in this.
our passion for the stranger and surreal side of art is what brought us together.
We both come from really different backgrounds. I was a research scientist and Tom's a fine artist.
Because of the pandemic, we've been an entirely remote team, and almost all of Silt has been hand-drawn at night by me, which seems entirely appropriate for the subject matter.
Our audio designer even set up a fish tank in his studio to record the underwater sounds that you'll be hearing throughout the game.
We're really excited for you to experience our hand-drawn work brought to life, and we hope you enjoy exploring the strange oceanic world of Silt on Nintendo Switch.
Take a deep breath and dive into the harrowing ocean abyss. In the depths of this puzzle adventure from Spiral Circus Games, you'll unravel long forgotten mysteries as you explore a surreal underwater realm filled with strange machinery, ancient ruins, and dangerous ocean inhabitants.
A variety of sea creatures can be possessed. Harness their abilities to solve puzzles, navigate the haunting environment, and survive encounters against deep-sea Goliaths. There's more than meets the eye in this unsettling, monochrome world.
Plunge into the dark waters of Silt, launching on Nintendo Switch next month.
The voiceover is terrible, so stall. Neil Patel should sell it. Yeah. I'm not feeling this one. It looked kind of meh, kind of boring.
Yeah.
This guy's as sloppy as the studio. I don't know. Did Spiral Circus do anything that I should be like impressed by it? Because they kind of mentioned like Spiral Studios a couple times, or Spiral Circus. Yeah, I put another name.
I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell. Maybe someone
They should hire Tommy to promote the game.
He's like in everything. He should be doing these indie worlds. He'd probably be a better voiceover too.
There's got to be a happy medium between hostage and psychopath, right? There's a happy medium somewhere in there.
Hey, a way to avoid traffic. Morning commutes can be a real jam, if you get my drift.
Oh, I know, right? But guess what? In Mini Motorways from developer Dinosaur Polo Club, the key to solving the city's congestion problems is you. Draw and build roads to create a bustling metropolis and keep traffic flowing on maps inspired by real-life cities. As demands interchange, you'll continuously redesign and expand via upgrades like highways and roundabouts.
Ramp up the difficulty by taking part in daily and weekly challenges. More maps will unlock as you become a master road designer. How long can you keep the cities of the world moving?
Buckle up for Mini Motorways, cruising onto Nintendo Switch later today.
That looks like something they should give away for free. Yeah, SimCity much. But that was always the worst part of SimCity.
What the hell was that?
Yeah. Mini Motor Race.
Oh yeah, this game. Okay. Yeah, that was like pretty embarrassing. I don't know why they showed that.
That should be like a free game they just give away. Like here's something to waste like 3 or 4 minutes of your day every day with. Yeah, see, Beefy says I leave and come back and you're still on Ooblets. They all look like Ooblets. I agree. King of Wild Buttocks disagrees with us. He says this looks like a fun little game.
Oh, hell no. Oh,
Chappie says, I mean, it's part of Apple Arcade from like over a year ago. Well, there you go. That's why. Yeah, $1 purchase. It doesn't look like much. It looks like something you mess around with. While you're downloading some bigger game, you just mess around with Mini Motorways. Right? It should be like a mini game within a game. Buttock says no. It's nice.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, like I said, this looks like something that I would play on Newgrounds, right? You go to Newgrounds, oh, this looks interesting. You fuck around with it for like 10 minutes and then you never fucking play it again. It's not something I would pay for.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say to this.
There's just nothing there. Like, there's no meat on the bones. Like it's like, yeah, you okay, now what? I just build roads and watch cars and that's it. Let's move on. Moving on. I don't want to shit too hard on them. They might try to give us free games.
By the way, I haven't yet. I haven't watched anything at all. I've just been like not doing anything.
I heard of that movie and I heard it was good, but I have not seen it.
Yeah, I mean, like I didn't even say my favorite zombie movie is Return of the Living Dead. Like I that movie's probably the best zombie movie. So
I like Frankenhooker. That's technically a zombie movie, right?
I mean, technically, if you really go into it, yeah.
Frankenstein is basically a zombie, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So Frankenhooker, best zombie movie ever.
Have you seen The Return of the Living Dead? Like,
have you seen Frankenhooker?
I haven't. No.
Well, then how?
But how did? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. You've never seen The Return of the Living Dead?
No, I said I've seen that movie. You
Okay.
haven't seen mine. I've seen yours.
No.
You haven't seen mine. So how could you judge?
I didn't judge. I didn't judge at all. I know the movie they were talking about. I just haven't seen it.
You should all watch Land Before Time, like me and Beefy. Land Before Time is good.
Oh boy.
I don't like what they did with the series. Like there's like 15 of those movies now.
It kind of fell off.
I like Jesse James meets Frankenstein. I've never seen that one. Never seen it. Let's continue on. I think we got like 4 or 5 more games here.
Oh fuck.
We got Wayward Strand, Cult of the Lamb, another Crab Treasure. Oh, they got a whole bunch of little ones here. They're like 30-second games, all at the end. Fuck.
Oh,
all right,
damn.
let's get through this. We got DJC coming up in like 40 minutes. We got to make it so we can watch.
Whoa, a flying hospital. That's new. I've never seen that before.
Then hop aboard this heartfelt narrative adventure from Ghost Pattern, set in 1970s rural Australia. As intrepid teen journalist Casey, you'll come to know a diverse cast of eclectic voiced characters through the stories they tell and the moments you share. Each story unfolds in real time at the same time, so you get to choose which ones you want to experience. Follow the hospital's inhabitants, eavesdrop on them, or enter the room and be part of the conversation.
Darcy, right? Mrs. B's kid?
It's, Casey. Not, Casey. Just Casey.
Sure.
By keeping track of information in your notebook and spending time with certain characters, you might unearth new stories, locations, and revelations. Multiple playthroughs will also give you the opportunity to witness other events, allowing you to delve deeper into the stories and weave together mysteries aboard the airship. Wayward Strand lands on Nintendo Switch July 21st.
I will say this did have it did have the same sort of art style as Ooblets. So I will give you that. Blinded. It is another narrative game.
3-4 games now.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea either. Beefy, not my cup of tea. But there's not much to say about it. It look not good. Not.
Yeah, not much to say.
Sunset, what's with all these cozy, feel-good games? Well, multiple playthroughs, bro. Yeah. That whole multiple playthrough thing, like at one point that was like, oh wow, that's innovative. Like you have to play the game again to get like additional information because you have to make a choice between going left or right, and now you're gonna get the other stuff. Now it's just like, oh my god, stop doing that. I don't want to play your game 6 or 7 times. Just fucking give me the experience in one go through. Especially when you end up having to see the same stuff. Like it's like 3 hours worth of content, but you got to play it 6 times because they only give you like 45 minutes each one.
Yeah.
And then in the second playthrough, you only get like an additional 2 minutes. I hate those kind of games.
A randomly generated world awaits in this action-adventure game from Massive Monster. As a possessed lamb saved by a foreboding stranger from a ritual sacrifice, you need to repay your debt by creating a loyal community of woodland worshippers.
Gather resources to build structures. Then, gather your courage to brave deadly dungeons like the Silk Cradle. Venture through its dark depths, teeming with razor spiders and toxic millipedes, to challenge the dungeon's overlord Shamura. There ain't anything sheepish about it.
Cult of the Lamb trots onto Nintendo Switch this year.
Well, it's like a Miko simulator. You get to form your own cult. It looked okay. I mean, it's another dungeon crawler.
It's Devolver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind Devolver games.
Like I said, it looks fun, but nothing like, oh my god, that was like an interesting concept. It was just like, yeah, it's the same concept wrapped up in a new coat of paint, right? Like,
yeah,
it's not great, but not too bad. I'm starting to sour. I was pretty high at the beginning of this. I'm starting to turn over to the blinded side.
I told you, just watch the whole thing. I didn't even watch it. I told you I skipped around, and I was like, God damn, this is boring.
Beefy's right. Need to see more, but it looks like it has some potential. All right, so this is a Souls-like
Oh, brother.
crab game. Like you're playing as crab, fighting other crabs. And it seems like one of those things that like an hour into it, you're like, wow, this has really run its course. Like the whole crab thing is already played out like an hour into it. You're like, fucking stop with the crab shit, right? Because I'm sure there's going to be like crab puns and shell puns and like, and at first it's cutesy, like, oh yeah, he's got a knife and a fork, and this crab is inside a tin can. And then you're like, fuck it, this shit's lame. Like, enough with the damn crabs, right? Because I've played games like that where like it's like a meme or something. You're like, yeah, this is funny, and then like eventually, like, shit, this is getting so fucking played out.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? Comet Pizza the game? Yeah. Graphically, it looks like Nobody Saves the World. I think he's talking about the other game. That's
Hey, Crab fans, I'm Nick.
And I'm Kalen. Previously, AgroCrab released Going Under, and it didn't make us rich. So this time, we're selling out and giving the people what they want, crabs. Our second project is a crustacean-themed Souls-like, another crab's treasure.
Through our extensive research, we've found that crabs are the perfect enemy for an action game. They've got natural weapons, can strafe from side to side, and you can hit their weak point for massive damage.
Souls-likes are known for their difficulty, and we want to create a game that maintains that challenge while being approachable for new fans of the genre.
Ooh, what if you died in one hit when you're not wearing a shell?
I just said it's supposed to be approachable.
Oh, what if every time you dodge roll, there's like a 1% chance that you just trip and fall over?
Well, looks like our segment's over, everyone.
It's time for Crab.
All right, Eriko, put your pincers up.
Oh, here we go with the crab puns.
Crab-absolutely.
Anyway, in this action-adventure from AgroCrab, you'll embark on an epic treasure hunt under the sea to buy back your repossessed shell. while wading through this underwater world plagued by pollution and sinister secrets. You'll scavenge for trash and use it as a shell to defend yourself in challenging combat.
There are over
My phone's gonna
50
die.
potential shells, so get shellfish with them and repel enemies with powerful umami magic. If you don't, you'll be in a pinch before you know it. After all, one crab's trash is another crab's treasure, which sidesteps on Nintendo Switch next year.
Seems that my co-host is having difficulties there.
Yeah, my charger wasn't plugged in. Sorry,
Yeah, this doesn't look good. Like I said, it looks like something that, like, in the first 10, 15 minutes, you're like, oh, this is funny, ha ha ha. And then you're like, oh my god, this is so stupid. Why did I buy this crap game?
Yeah.
Albert says more leftist garbage. Yeah, they definitely look like leftists. I'm not going to judge anyone's game by the appearance of the developers. I mean, who knows? Leftists can make good games too. I'm not saying that it's an exclusive left or right issue, but it just doesn't look that good.
No. Yeah. And when I hear Souls-like game, I'm like, oh my god. It's like when I hear roguelike game. Jesus, it's like a fucking buzzword.
And next year, why would they show it now? I don't know. That's like 2 games that are coming out next year that they showed.
Yeah.
They got nothing else.
It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they have nothing else to show for all the better indie games. Probably going to show it at E3 or, I guess, their next Nintendo Direct or something.
Beefy says, I didn't see any leftist stuff in it. Well, you haven't played the whole game yet. I'm sure there's leftist stuff in it. But, like I said, if it works, it works, right? I'm not judging. Put leftist stuff in games if you want. It's your prerogative. Don't put it in there. I don't care. See, Albert says the trash in the ocean is leftist bullshit. It's could be a possibility. Beef Jerky says we need more Strand type games. So, Death Stranding sucked. By the way, I seen it. Look,
you've seen it? Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
I haven't played it. I had somebody review it for the website that they were gushing over it. I'm like, dude, this looks like garbage. How could you be excited about being a fucking UPS delivery guy?
From what I heard, because my brother played it, like it sits on my shelf and I just haven't played it. It's kind of like Minecraft, so I kind of understand why people like it.
Yeah, see, Albert says Death Stranding is garbo. I agree. Looks garbo. You just deliver packages, and then there's like
but
this
the graphics do look very impressive though.
Yeah, but there's like a convoluted story and like
yeah,
I read the
story. The story is somewhat interesting. I think if he should have just made a movie or a television show. It's like, oh, this is somewhat interesting. I would probably watch this to show if there's more action or, there's actually something to do.
You're a little low. Blinded.
Oh. Okay, I got to turn it up. Because I'm playing too, so that's why.
I didn't play it. You could look at a game, right? You could look at a game and the gameplay mechanics and the story and the voice acting and everything and know it sucks even if you didn't play it, right?
I disagree with that. Because this is what's happening with Arkham Knight right now. Is that people are like, the game looks like shit. It looks floaty. And it's like, okay, but you haven't played this. And this is what I was saying. This is why Guardians wasn't successful. Is because like people look at the game and they go, this game is shit. And then when they actually play it, they're like, oh my god, this is 10 times better. Like sometimes a game looks really good, but it's fucking ass. Like right now, I'm kind of like playing Deathloop, and I just realized, I was like, oh crap. Like at the beginning, yeah, the game looks fucking amazing. But then when you keep playing it, you're like, this is fucking gonna drive me insane. So
are you saying, are you suggesting that all the Amico games that we said look like shit might actually play amazing and we're completely wrong about them?
Yeah, you don't really know. Because like I really think like, especially with a game, like with a movie, you could look and be like, maybe I might like this. Maybe the trailer's just misleading. But like for a game, I think it really is like again hit and miss. Like you can't really tell if a game's gonna play well. You know what I mean? So.
Well, look who decided to join us almost at the end of the.
Sorry, boys. Yeah, today was hangover day. Concert was yesterday. Today was hangover day. I was doing a lot of napping.
I agree with Ninja Kitty. He says, I wonder if Kojima didn't make the game, if it would receive the same amount of praises. Yeah, Death Stranding is 100% Kojima hype. Everybody's all like, yeah, fucking, it's going to be great.
I still think he should have just made PT. PT was, for a demo, it was very good. Like, I would even say that was like one of the better games, even though it was a fucking demo. Like,
He needs to go back and make smaller type 2D or sprite based game. That's
if
that's
he
what he
really
was good
made
at.
Silent Hills, that would have been pretty good. Like Metal Gear Solid 5 is like, I think that's where it started to fucking wane. But like Silent Hills, the premise of it and what was shown, it probably would have been successful.
So what was the general consensus on the? It was a lackluster indie showcase, wasn't it?
We're not done yet. We're not finished.
Oh, you're not done yet? Oh, okay. I thought you were
We got
done.
like 3 minutes left. Ninja Kitty says Kojima was given a pass for the last two Metal Gear games. They were overrated.
No,
He's still no. He's people still praise him. I'm not sure what the hell Ninja Kitty's talking about.
I mean, he's got because he does have good games in his history, but like no, I agree with Ninja Kitty. I think Metal Gear, the original Metal Gear Solid was good. 2, like Sons of Liberty was okay, and then it just started to get like with Snake Eater was really weird, and then what Sons of Liberty and what was that the Sons of Liberty was the last one, or can't remember anymore. But yeah, I don't care. I don't care for what they turned that series into. If they would have just stuck to the formula they did with the original on PlayStation, they would have been fine.
Well, now it's dead completely. So
yeah. I mean, that was a heavy hitter for
but
PlayStation.
I really wouldn't underestimate Kojima. Like I said, like if PT was a complete game and it came out, it probably would have been like the best game last generation. So,
No,
like, I'm not gonna.
I disagree. First off,
Did you play PT?
Hold on. Albert says Kojima peaked with Zone of the Enders.
Zone of the Enders was great.
Good. PT was good for the little bit that you got. But I'm convinced if Kojima had fully fleshed it out, it would have been a convoluted mess about how like some like bunny rabbit had a dream about different deer in the forest, and it became an idea that turned into a butterfly that turned into fucking PT, right?
I don't even know.
Kojima's fucking everywhere with his shit, right? Play Death Stranding.
I mean, that's kind of the appeal. Bro. See the
problem is it's like the. Has anybody played the Boktai games?
No.
Those are fantastic, man. Like if they brought that to Switch, that series to Switch, I think there's a lot of people who haven't played those and they need to play those. Like I own both. Well, I own both for the GBA, and I do own the third one that wasn't released in the West. That series is like it is Metal Gear Solid, but just like Vampire Hunter. It's a very weird game, but it's a fantastic game. The only problem that they did with when making those games is that the GBA cartridges had like solar sensors, so you had to be out in the sun to power your guy up. Otherwise, there was no way to really play that game. So when I play it these days, I have a little like black light, UV light, and I have to shine it on the game cartridge when I'm playing it. But for anybody who hasn't played that series, see, he needs to go back to his roots. I think he's a great, as a developer, but the problem is making these big, huge, expansive games are not his bread and butter.
It's very clear he wants to make movies. Like, so I don't think he's ever going to go back to the 2D stuff. Like his background is really truly in movies. Like he went to film school. When you look at like all his inspiration, it's all from movies. You should just make a movie. That's what I say. Like just quit freaking gaming. You're already popular. You know all these connections. Just make a movie.
But I can't comment too much on Death Stranding because you know, I never played it. I watched it. It was weird. I mean, some people love it, some people don't.
It's not a good game to watch, from what I heard from people who have.
Yeah, it's boring. It's boring.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was super excited about it. I mean, that was like at the peak Norman Reedus's.
Well, no, that was because of PT, because everybody thought going into it, like you should have seen, there was all these videos that were getting like millions upon millions of views, just speculating on whether Death Stranding was going to be basically Silent Hills, but just under another name, right? Because there's all these different connections, and it turned out obviously wasn't true, right? But it kind of is. Like some of the story elements were from what was going to be in Silent Hills. That's what I think Guillermo del Toro said. So, I mean, I don't know about the gameplay.
So Albert says the outdoor aspect is perfect for the Switch, Gary. Yeah, I think if you're talking about Boktai, I mean, like I like the concept with how Boktai was. Like, it's a great concept, but for like to play it, like here's where they messed up. So Boktai had the solar sensor, and what they should have done in the game was allow that solar sensor to work, but anytime that you wanted it, it just should have just been a toggle though, right? It should have been a switch like, hey, I can't play it outside right now, like, or start the game up with an option to switch it off. That was their biggest issue, because down the road, those cartridges are going to fail, and there's going to be no way to play that series in the future. But I definitely think that art style, it's such a gorgeous game. For anybody who has not played that series, I highly recommend playing it. But if they went back to that, I think really if they went back to that, and yeah, it would be perfect on Switch. So what exactly did we get to Gunbrella? That was my
yeah.
You did. I really think that stole the showcase. I agree with Ninja. Well, there was a few more, but as Ninja Kitty, we were talking in the DMs, and he said the golf game, the Curse of the Golf or whatever. I think that looks really good. It's just that game was announced a few months back, so it really wasn't something that like surprised me because I already knew about it. But I think a lot of people were upset with the showcase because people were expecting to see Silk Song. That wasn't up there.
I think that game's gonna come out next year, to be honest.
And it's crazy because that was announced like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was announced shortly after Hollow Knight. So
and also too, I feel like if it was announced, if they were gonna show it off, it was not gonna be here. I think it would have been at a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, and that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a Nintendo Direct. The indie showcase. It's too big for a showcase. And I think the same thing with like Shovel Knight Dig. I've just been waiting for them to finally release a release date for it. And they did mention it, I think, in the last Nintendo Direct, but I think we still got a couple months before that comes out.
Well, there's probably a Nintendo Direct next month.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
So
let's turn this down.
I am back. The Kojima fanboys try to get me DDoS attack.
Yeah,
They're like, no, don't talk
took
about
down
Kojima.
your internet. It was me.
Attack my internet. It was the Death Stranding. They got Norman Reedus. He disconnected my hookup.
I sent them that
game. Back to Death Stranding. That game had so much fucking product placement in there. Everyone complains about one little piece of product placement in a game, but suddenly Kojima's game is just littered with fucking product placement.
What kind of product placement?
It was like mountain. It was like a monster and shit. And,
monster, his glasses, the cars, the clothes.
Well, see, if it's done right, like there was a time where we kind of wanted that in our games a little bit. If it's done right, if it's not overdone and it's done so that the game benefits from it, it's fine.
But if it was just really done to be weird, because it's like they had a Walking Dead poster with Norman Reedus on it, and it's like, okay, well, this is obviously just like it's fucking Kojima Inception, it's advertisement, but Norman Reedus is on it.
Right. If it doesn't fit the game, then it doesn't make sense to do it.
It was just about.
I don't know. It was weird. You know what I mean? There's also a lot of weird cameos in that game too.
Albert says that pays the bills. Doesn't bother me. If they lowered the price of the game, right? They're like, hey, we're gonna stick a bunch of product placement in here, but now the game's gonna be like $10 cheaper for you guys to buy. Then I'd be like, hell yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It was a PlayStation game. Like PlayStation developed it, right? Like they gave him the money. They even gave him the fucking engine, the Decima engine from Horizon. So, I mean, he doesn't really need the money. You got PlayStation backing it, and then it bombed too. Like that's why they never came out and said, "Oh, how many units Death Stranding sold?" It's because it bombed.
Yeah. Well, the director's cut removes Monster Energy from it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
JF Ray sunglasses was in there. It was just like a bunch of just weird shit just thrown in there.
I mean, I'm curious what his next game is going to be. It seems like he has like multiple games. Like he has one from Xbox supposedly. There's like something else. So, I mean, that's probably a bit years away though.
Tommy O says those old Burger King 360 games were $5. I have all those. They're actually, some of them were pretty decent. They were halfway decent for what they were, right?
Didn't they have like a King racing game, kind of like a like Crash? I think
the Sneak King game is fucking hilarious.
Sneak King. That's the one I have for Xbox 360. It's the one I come across at the thrift stores all the time.
So fucking stupid.
It was like a little mini bike thing. Oh, is that little Gary? Is little Gary there?
Yeah, we and him are over here playing Revolution X for Sega. He got Revolution X at the flea market the other day for like $2. So we're playing that.
Nice. All right. Let's see what else. Let's watch I think there's like 2 minutes left of this. Yeah, 2 minutes about.
Here. For our last segment, we'd like to show you a sneak peek of several more indie games coming to Nintendo Switch. Enjoy!
The Gibbon game looked dumb. I don't even know what the hell the gameplay is. A one-shot World Machine Edition that was already released on Steam, the original version. I heard it was okay.
What's the one with the orangutans or the monkeys in there?
That's Gibbon. Gibbon Beyond the Trees.
That looks okay. Like, I'm not usually a huge fan of those like artistic-y type games. I mean, it looks good. I mean, obviously I have a preference, right? I think everybody knows what like my style of game is at this point, like what I like. But I mean, some of these games don't look terrible. They're just not, not my
Gary is going to be getting all of these games. We're going to contact all the devs. Gary's going to be doing a full analysis. Idle Manager is
keep me
going to be
busy.
his fucking magnum opus. When he reviews Idle Manager, fucking look out. Although it does look pretty good, I would play Idle Manager. I'm not even going to lie.
That's all for today's Indie World. We
Yeah, overall, not a great indie world. I would say it was about a 6 out of 10. A couple of games at the very beginning I was, kind of excited for. What was that? Batora Lost Haven looked pretty good. Electhead, I liked it that.
Yeah, Electhead looked good.
Soundfall sounded interesting with the songs. Wild Frost Deck Builder, so that piqued my interest. It looked good, especially on Switch. Deck Builder, sit in the bed playing that while you watch TV. It's no brainer. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator looked like shit. Gunbrella looked good. We Are OFK looked and sounded stupid. Silt looked boring. Mini Motorways looked like something they should have just gave you. Like, here's a free game. Fucking be happy. Wayward Strand sounded interesting, but not my kind of game. Cult of the Lamb looked okay.
So I think that's going to be really good.
Cult of the Lamb, you think that's going to be good?
Yeah, I forgot that was in there too because I kind of just skipped past it. Because I did kind of watch it a little late, so I was behind. And I just kind of was like, all right, I already know a lot about this game, so I skipped past that. But yeah, that's from what I hear, I've watched a few previews and people who have kind of gotten their hands on it, I think, because it comes out here soon, I believe. It's supposed to be really good, and I think it's like a roguelite a little bit, and then it has kind of some like I don't want to say RTS, but there's like some builder management type stuff in the game, and between that and the art style, Devolver's the publisher on that one. Yeah. They do have, like I posted on Twitter, they do have a physical version of that coming out. I think a lot of people are gonna like that one.
Yeah, I told you, don't go wrong with Devolver. Don't go wrong with them.
I don't know. But since we got Gary here, since Gary has returned to the show, he's back here. I think we should do a little segment here that we'll cut up and put it on the channel as its own standalone thing. I think Gary should give us, while we're waiting, because DJC's Amico After Dark doesn't start for 10 more minutes. I think Gary should give us his first impressions of Cotton. Was it Cotton Fantasy? What the hell is it called?
I'm not sure because wasn't there like, hold on, let me look at it really. I got my Switch right here. It's not Reboot, is it Fantasy? It is Fantasy. So there was another one. There was one that was called Reboot, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So far I'm
hold on.
Gary shooting.
We got to get the little banner up so everything's nice.
Guy.
So it's Cotton Fantasy.
Yes.
All right. So Gary is going to give us his first impressions of Cotton Fantasy. We did receive a review copy of the game. The game does not come out until the 20th of this month. So Gary's been playing it early. He's been messing around with it. He's going to tell us what he thinks of the game. What kind of game is it, first off, Gary? What is it? What is it?
It is a cute 'em up, which means it's basically a cutesy shoot 'em up. It is a horizontal shooter and has a little bit of, so far I've only played one level out of like the 7 or 8 levels that it for the most part it's horizontal. It has one level where you kind of like Space Harrier, where you're in the middle, kind of float all over the screen, and then you go forward. For the most part, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I thought there might be some issues with the game, but I really haven't. I've come across maybe a few frame dips when it gets really intense, and I figured there'd be more of that. because it gets really kind of crazy because it's a bullet hell and you have a lot going on at the screen at one time. I mean, it gets confusing sometimes when you're, depending on who you pick and if you're charging up the shot and you unleash all that and all the different, like there's bells, I believe you collect for like a leveling up type stuff. And then there's crystals so you can increase your time. And basically that's how the game works. You have a time limit, and when you get hit, it takes away from your time, and that's kind of how you die. So for the most part, I've never really played a cotton game before. I do like shooters. Shmups are great. They're not it's not a genre that I own really too many shooters, because shooters these days are super expensive. But for the most part, it checks all the boxes for me. It looks absolutely brilliant on the OLED. That's what it does really well, for at least for me. It's just nice and vibrant, and it's a beautiful game. It's very short, because I almost beat it in one playthrough when I first downloaded the code. I think it's about you can get it beat in around 45 minutes, maybe an hour. So it is short, but there is, it makes up with, 6 playable characters. I hear there's a 7th unlockable character. I heard there might be an 8th, like a DLC type character. I'm not sure exactly. We're not sure at this point how we're actually going to get that extra level in that character. But there's a lot there. There's a few modes, and I haven't gotten really, like I said, I only got maybe 7 or 8 levels I played or something like that. And for the most part, it's fun. It's quite easy on like normal. It's what you would expect from a shoot 'em up. It's good. It's solid fun. I'm not exactly sure if it has multiplayer. I'm not sure if you could play that 2 players or not. But for the most part, it's good. It's really solid. I like the look of it. I think it runs rather smoothly. Like I said, there's a few dips when you get into like just too much on the screen at once, but for the most part, it runs really solid. I think it's not really going to bug anybody, especially if you're not too worried about that thing. But yeah, I think it's something that's going to be like a highly recommended if you like shooters and you definitely like shoot 'em ups, and you're looking to fill that shmup void. I think it's a great game, and I believe you can get it physically for like $30, and then do you know what the price of it is digitally, Tony?
I'm looking it up right now. Psychic Mike walked in the room, so he's making it into this first impressions video. But let me see here. Cotton. So would you recommend this, Gary?
As it stands right now, yeah. I think it's quality there. I mean, people always say like game length, whether it's worth it game length wise. I don't think that's ever been an issue for me, because if a game's really solid, and even if it only lasted a half hour, I would definitely recommend it. It would be a hard recommendation at like a full price at like $60. It's kind of like, well, if all you were getting was the game at like $60, but I believe it is like 30 physically, and I'm sure it's cheaper digitally. I definitely could recommend it, because if you're a shooter fan, you've gone over this for like years and years on end. You buy a game, and it's usually not a game that you get. Shooters are games that are, on average last from like an hour to 2 hours. You don't get a lot of content from it. But I won't rate a game on just how much content you can get out of it, because everybody, to each their own. People don't mind that. They enjoy shooters, so they're gonna buy it. But definitely, I think it's really good so far. That the hour that I about played in it was fantastic. I was expecting, like I said, like slowdowns, because I knew going in, watching some of the trailers and some of the stuff, that there were, there's a lot of stuff that's on the screen at once. But it runs really good. And if you're like I said, a fan of shoot 'em ups, then Definitely. It's definitely going to be a recommendation when I go to do my review because I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's what I've played so far.
Yeah, I'm not getting a price. PlayStation Network, it has no price, but here on the Switch, it says it's $39.99.
So that's going to be. I mean, I can't imagine that the I can't imagine that that's going to be probably 40 for it retail. I can't imagine that's the price of it digitally. If that is the price of yeah, if that's the price of that digitally, for the price point, it's hard to swallow $40 for a shoot for any shooter. Because it's the kind of game that should be $15, $20 digitally. $30 is fine for it physically because I understand what they have to go through to get these manufactured and produced and all that good stuff. But it's a good game, right? If you can swallow the fact that it might, you might only get an hour and then you've beaten it and then you got about 7 characters to play with, and there's a few few difficulty modes in it. I think it's worth it for any shooter fan. It's going to be hard to recommend it to somebody who might not be okay with those things. But it's quality.
The digital version is $40. Excuse me. The physical version is $45.
Yeah, that's the biggest. That's the biggest pill you're going to have to swallow on it.
The collector's edition is $115.
Now, that's not still available on limited run, is it? It was a limited run one we're showing right now, isn't it?
No, it's not limited run. It's the other one. What's it?
It's not.
This is on
strictly limited. Oh, I know there's so many companies nowadays.
Yeah, this is Games Rocket. So
okay,
I think they do have a strictly limited though, because I know you can pre-order it through Amazon too.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to be a fan of the series. I mean, this is going to be a no-brainer for a lot of people, especially the fact that the the TurboGrafx game is I think standalone for the was it Super CD or the Turbo Duo, whatever the hell they call that thing. I believe that's
real quick.
Yeah.
Son wants to know if it runs at 30 or 60 FPS.
That'll have to check it. I believe it runs at. It's hard to tell. I believe it runs at 30 on the Switch. It probably runs at 60 on if it's available. I believe this is available for PlayStation, right? PlayStation 4 or yeah. PlayStation 4 or 5. I would assume that it probably runs better on those. To me, I can't tell when I play a game. I can, but I don't play enough stuff in it to instantly know after an hour of gameplay. I do think it runs at 30 though. That I'm gonna have to check on.
We're going to need you to get a stopwatch. We got to do this thoroughly. But so first impressions, you thought it was pretty good. You liked it. You're looking forward to playing more of the game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's like I said, it's going to be a big pill to swallow for people to pay that price tag on it. I totally think it's a game that you need to play, but to pay that money for something that's going to give you a few hours of content. Depends how you play your shooters, but yeah, that's the big one there is the price point.
Well, hopefully by Monday you'll have a full review, Gary, and maybe we'll get a little bit more on the Saturday show. But that was Gary's first impressions of Cotton Fantasy coming the 20th. I did see that you dropped off in the middle of that, but that's okay. We ended that segment. But as you can see, if you buy the collector's edition, you get a metal coin. So the Amico games were not the only ones that come with coins.
Well, I definitely could see that game being worth a lot of money in the future. I mean, it's a good possibility, but
so sounds good. Sounds like I'm looking forward to your full review coming up, Gary. I'm looking forward to that. But do you gentlemen now want to watch DJC's Amico Forever? Or should we just end the stream?
I'm game.
anything
I'm
to
game.
talk
I was
about?
watching a few things earlier today. I watched DVD Fever Games take on their last stream, and somehow I've always like sucked into Chuck's stuff.
You're always sucking on Chuck's stuff. What? Albert says, "I'm sure the cotton people are happy with Gary's sales pitch."
Oh boy.
I told you I'm beholden to nobody. I'm honest about these things. Like,
And I'll tell you what, I'll say this again. I've said this before. In all my dealings with companies getting free review copies and stuff, I've never had a single company be upset with me when I was honest about a game. As long as I was saying things that were true, right? Like if Gary's like, "Oh, this game is garbage," and like you can only play as one character, like, no, dude, there's 6 characters. You're lying. That's obviously you're an idiot. You didn't play the game or something, right? Never had a developer, a PR person, anybody come at me. Obviously, I've never broken embargo, and I've never lied about the game that I was playing. So they don't care if you shit on a game as long as you're talking about it. Because even if you say bad things, right? Even if Gary's like, "No, that's too expensive," you, the consumer, might be like, "I disagree with Gary. I think that's a good price, and I will pay it for it." He's giving me
Right.
accurate information to make a purchase. So that's all they care about.
right? As long as as long as other people are at least viewing it, and that's why I said you always take review. You know, you try to line up with a reviewer on their taste of video games, but not everybody's going to agree. So somebody might have looked at Danny and Randy DX and said, "Hey, look, this is the kind of game that I want to play with my my kids, or maybe I do like this. Maybe this is something right up my alley." So, but I try to be honest. I try to be as honest and let you know if I'm biased about something. That's why I've been pretty honest about the play date. I don't think I'm going to hate it when I get it. I think I already know that I'm going to love it. But somebody can form their own opinion on what I think about it. So
yeah, I don't think there's co-op in this game. I'm not seeing it on the press releases or anything. So yeah, it's probably just a single player experience. I will tell you what, I was a little pissed. What's up, Just a Servant? I was a little pissed. I went to record my video on the Printy Classics Collection 2, right? Because it was crashing, had issues with it crashing. I was like, well, let me record some gameplay footage with my capture card, get that all squared away. Blinded helped me set it up. He's the technical guy of the team. So we got it all squared away. And as soon as I turned it on, the motherfucking game was like, "Do you want to download this fucking update for the game?"
for what game was that?
Printy Classics Collection 2. We had got a review copy for it, right? So I was playing it early, and it was crashing a lot. But then day of release, when I was going to upload the video talking about the crashing issue.
The patch went live. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. The patch goes live on release day.
But here's the thing. There's no patch notes on Switch, right? And PlayStation, they got patch notes.
Right.
Steam and all that. So I don't know if the patch was done to take care of the issue. Was it done to address something else? Was it just a graphical or an audio fucking tweak? So I have no idea. Like, so I'm basically like, hey, the game crashes a lot, but they also patched it, and I don't know if the fucking patch is gonna fix it. So that kind of pissed me off. I was kind of at a loss for words when I made that video. That's the NIS package. Yeah, exactly. And you know what? NIS has always been really good to me. They love written reviews. The Japanese developers love written reviews, so they fucking always want to throw fucking games at us.
Nice.
But most of the time, I'm like, I'm not interested in that genre. I don't play that
So
shit.
what other game did they have aside from the ZHP?
The other game on that collection is Makai Kingdom.
That's the one I haven't played. I played ZHP, and that's such a great game. It's worth it just for that game alone, especially because I think that game for PSP is now like it's expensive. I think it's $100 game, and I don't think there's really another way to get that. So just for that alone, it's worth it if it plays well.
Just the Servant says, Gary, are you going to actually sell the Steam Deck? Because I couldn't tell if you were being serious or not.
Me, I don't have a Steam Deck. What?
It's Tony who has the
That's
Steam Deck.
Tony has the Steam Deck.
I have the Steam Deck. Like I said, when I first got it, I was really excited. Like, yeah, I'm going to get the Steam Deck. Then I had gotten a new computer. So I was like, well, I don't really need the Steam Deck anymore. But then the computer fucked up. So I sent the computer back. So I was like, oh, now I kind of need the Steam Deck again. Now I got a new computer coming through again. A different new computer. So I'm still like, I don't really play Steam games. I love my PlayStation 5. I'm not big into handheld games. The Switch, I kind of play it sometimes in the bed in handheld mode. I guess I could do that with the Steam, but I really don't have a big Steam library at this time. So it's like, do I want to invest in a bunch of Steam games to give me an excuse to have the Steam Deck? I'm not technical. I don't like fiddling around with computers and going in there and like, just download this and you can fucking make it an emulator and turn it. I'm like, no, fuck all that. I don't want to touch any of that. I look at a computer and the motherfucker just blows up. So I'm like, no, I'm not touching it.
Now, see, I think this.
I had a brand new computer for like 3 days and it just froze and then completely fucking flatlined.
Was it even 3 days? I think it was
I
think it was less than that.
Jeez.
It was like a fucking $1,500 computer. It was just like, hey, let me just freeze and then crash the Windows and you don't have Windows to download and fucking 27 different technical people that are just bouncing me around. So no problem, Adam. You're not bothered. I see you. Like I said, I'm so on the fence. Like I kind of want it, but I kind of want to sell it, and I don't want to be one of these people like fucking give me $1,000, $2,000. Like nah, like I paid X amount. Give me like I'll make $50 off of it, or $50 plus whatever the shipping, depending on where you're at. Like if it's gonna be like $40 a shipping. You're gonna pay me 40 plus the ship. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna just eat the shipping.
How many gigs does it have?
It's the basic 64.
Oh, 64. Wow, 64. Jeez.
Yeah, like I said, I just got it was just a spur of the moment. Everyone's like, hey, I can't get one. I can't get one. I was like, well, let me see if I can get one. And it just went through, with my shitty internet, quote unquote. I just went through and fucking.
Hey, I'd say make money off that damn thing if you can. Screw
I don't
it.
want to be a scalper.
There's nothing
Scalpers are
wrong with
morally
that.
bankrupt. They're evil. Remember?
I wish.
I feel like it's okay. It's not like you're buying up a bunch of Steam Decks and selling them for hire. You know what I mean? Like
Just
nothing
the
like
servant
too
said living
crazy.
in Australia. Just the servant's trying to make me feel guilty. He's like, come on, I need a Steam Deck. It's my birthday.
And you got you said you had the mid-sized one. You didn't
No.
get the super expensive one.
I
You
got the
got
regular one. I got
Oh,
the
did you? Okay. How much are the base ones going for these days? What was it? $400, and it's probably what, like $600?
64 gigs though, like that's.
It's
that
not.
should have
Yeah,
been like
that's the
250.
worst. Yes, but can you hold on? Does it have a slot for like expandable memory?
It does, but from what I heard, it's a little bit finicky. I mean, I get it, right? Like SSDs are expensive, but I don't know, 64 gigs kind of sucks.
I mean, I could make
it's
that.
hold on. To be fair, it's not even 64 gigs. It's only
Right, because of the
40
OS.
Yeah,
the
so
OS.
you can't even download Elden Ring. Elden Ring is too big for the.
Jeez.
See, and that's going to be the problem with it. It's not going to be unless you go and spend the money and you have the memory. A base model is going to be. You might as well forget about those big, heavy hitting titles it's going to be for, you know, modern retro stuff, you know, something that's maybe a gig or two, and you can throw it on there. And
the base model was literally just to have that price tag, just to say, oh, it's $299. That's really
right. It's cheap. Right. It's the cheapest option.
It wasn't no $299.
There's nothing like it on them.
Yeah, I said $399. That's right.
Yeah, and there's nothing like it on the market. So just so they could say there's nothing like it on the market. So
I couldn't hear what your accent blinded. I'm sorry.
I don't even have an accent.
That you know.
Like, I'm like normal. Yeah, that I know of, technically.
Every time you speak, I just hear A that I know of. A. It's that Canadian accent. You don't hear it. It's natural for you.
I'll be in Blinded's corner. I don't think he has that Canadian sound like most guys do.
Yeah, like I can pass off as American. Like I go to America and nobody is to the wiser.
I don't know. When do you guys? If someone's gonna finally figure this out, that I just 90% of the shit that comes out of my mouth is just me fucking around. Like,
we can't tell. That's why.
I'm that good. I'm just that good at bullshitting.
Did you see Doctor Strange yet?
I did see Doctor Strange. Hold on, I want to get to this real quick.
Okay.
He said,
I'm just asking.
Yeah, by the way, if you're gonna actually sell it, I would buy it for an extra 50 to 70 euro and would really be helpful because I'm paying 700 euro. By the way, not trying to guilt trip you. No, I was just playing. Again, I was just. I might sell it. I might not. They're going for like $1,000 on eBay right now.
Ooh,
for the base model.
The base model, even if they're open or new.
It looks new in box or open, new open. In box.
I mean, obviously you haven't really played it, but yeah. I mean, look, the play dates. Anything new right now is insane. Play dates at one point were going for $900. They've kind of equalized back down to like $450, $500, but that's double what it costs.
That's like stuff like that. I don't agree with. Like that's just stupid.
Well, I mean, the problem is I mean, the demand's there. You know, if Tony here's the thing, Tony, morally, if you put it up for auction, you're not actually really asking. Like, if you were to put it up for auction for like a 3-day or a 5-day auction, morally, you're not really in the wrong. I mean, you're putting it up for zero, and people are going to bid it up to that price point. I mean,
I wouldn't put it up for zero. I would at least have a minimum.
Right, but if you were to put it up for, let's say, maybe $50 more than what it costs. Let's say you put it up for like $350 or $400 to take care of all your fees and shipping and all that stuff. It'll literally be gone in 5 minutes. Like it would not last more than 5 minutes on eBay. Be gone. But
you know what? That is true, but I would rather sell it to like just a servant, someone who's here. I know Bro's interested in it. That's the other thing. Like Retro Bro's, like he was interested, and I don't want to, sell
right.
it
You want it to go to somebody who's like really wants one, and that wants one at a regular price. I get it.
They're going for 2,000 according to Ninja Kitty.
Jeez.
There's actually 2,100. I bought it for 2,100. But it was for charity, right? Let's really it's not.
Yeah,
like,
that was where the money went. It was a charity thing first and foremost.
And Ninja Kitty says you can add external memory like the Switch to the Steam Deck.
Yeah, but like from what I heard, it's very finicky. That's what I mean. Like I'm pretty sure it's NVMe, but like I heard that there was like some bad results of it.
Now, see, someone like Ninja Kitty's going to get the most out of the Steam Deck because Ninja Kitty loves talking about his purchases when on the Steam sales and all that stuff. So I know he goes and buys a lot of stuff when it's on sale, and I can't fault you because when it's pretty cheap, there's just things you want to grab, and there's things that are worth it for the little bit of money that you actually have to pay for them. So someone like that who's willing to, who wants to kind of gobble up everything that goes on sale, all the good stuff, that's really who it's for. I mean, if you're looking to probably play the most cutting edge and current games that are coming out on PC, it just doesn't make sense. But if you're into, you know, that, like I said, retro modern stuff, or maybe older games that were on, you know, PlayStation 3 or 360 that might only be like, you know, a 10-20 gig game, you might be able to get away with kind of downloading it and then kind of taking it off until you expand that memory. But
I mean, the memory is still going to be expensive though. Like just for a terabyte,
there's no way around that.
MMV, that's like probably like $200.
Well, Ninja Kitty says it's not MMV, it's
not
micro SD.
Oh, well, that helps out then. That's big. And I think in a few years you're going to be looking at, you know, obviously cheaper prices, more memory here.
I would have preferred MVB.
All right, real quick, I got to get to this comment from Drew. He says, "I'm just sad you didn't have a functioning original Xbox." Well, here's the thing, Drew. It functions. The Xbox I got functions. The what the fuck is it called? The disk drive, the little where it pops out. The disc tray, it doesn't pop out. Like I had to use a screwdriver and kind of like fucking jam it open to slip in Halo, so I get the little footage of Halo on the original Xbox. So if you want a Xbox that you can open up and then fix the disc tray and all that, we could talk trade for that PlayStation. What was it? PlayStation 2 that you're talking about? Because I got everything. Like I said, I got the cords and everything. Not the first time Tony had go slip it in. Not. Rusty trombone deck. So, Blinded. Do you want to wait till Saturday to talk Doctor Strange, or do you want to talk it right now before we get into PC?
We could talk about it a little bit. By the way, I also agree with your Moon Knight. Like Moon Knight was probably the worst thing ever. It made me want to stop watching Marvel. It's fucking terrible. But Doctor Strange was actually like I don't want to say it was like amazing, but like I actually did enjoy it. That was surprising. I think a lot of people who are like hardcore Marvel fans will probably hate it. But if you
don't use the tea, give it here.
Is it really a Scarlet Witch movie?
I mean, yeah, it kind of is, but it isn't. Like Doctor Strange is still a lot of the movie, but it's just not really his story. If that makes sense.
Well, it's not really either one story because she doesn't have much of an arc.
Yeah, her arc is you got to watch WandaVision. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people complain about that. Like, I think the writing is the weakest part of the movie, but like, I mean, are you really going for a Marvel movie for the writing? Probably not. Like the visuals and everything that was happening was insane.
Hold on. Let's just talk about it officially then. Let's get the banner up, talk about it. That way we can cut this up again. You didn't like Moon Knight, by the way?
No, I did like it, but I'm saying the finale was so bad. It was so bad. It was awful. Like, I don't know what happened. And I think you agree because it was awful. It was one of the worst things. It just was like a bunch of it was like kaiju battles. It was like, what the fuck is happening? And then they cut out the fight scene to tease the fucking season 2. It was fucking dumb. That was like, I was like, oh my god, like that shit pissed me off. And like people loved it. Dude, people loved it. I didn't get it, and I'm like, dude, if you read even the modern Moon Knight comics, this was dog shit, right? Like even I was listening to some other people who like the more like 80s and 90s Moon Knight, and it's like, yeah, there was a lot of like stuff that was more ambiguous with Moon Knight, right? It's like Moon Knight's not like a deep supernatural character, right? So it's just so weird that they took that angle because it really shows up at the ending with that kaiju battle was. That was confusing as hell. And then he starts flying, and that was confusing. I was like, what the hell? Like, and then what's her name became the Scarlet Scarab. It doesn't even look like the character. It's like really weird. It's totally
I don't think they called her that. I think she just had
they didn't call her that, but that's the official title. Like when you go back, I think it's in the credits.
Let's get to Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We're going to be talking. I think it froze. Did it freeze?
No. I can still hear you.
Oh, fucked up. That was me. It froze. I'll restart. So, folks, we're going to be talking Doctor Strange 2. There's going to be spoilers, heavy spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, I advise you to click off the video. I've seen it. I know Blinded has seen it. I'm not sure Gary has seen it. But we're going to let him be in this chat anyway.
I have not seen it.
Let me remind you to like the video, share the video with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel, because every subscriber to the channel brings Gary that much closer to getting internet. There's going to be spoilers, Rabbit Dude. I would go away for the next 15 to 20 minutes.
I'm going to loosely
back when
listen.
you watch it.
And before we get to any of it, before we get to the spoilers, before we get to the story, before we get to what everybody thinks of the movie, I have to admit something. I said I was going to do it. We're here. I'm going to do it. I was wrong. Blinded Braille was correct.
Yeah.
It was
no
not
Tom Cruise.
It wasn't Tom Cruise. It wasn't Superior's Iron Man. It was, in fact, Captain
Maria
Marvel.
Rambeau.
It was Maria Rambeau. It wasn't even Monica Rambeau. I didn't like that, because Captain Marvel has blue aura. The Monica Rambeau, when she got her powers in WandaVision, she was blue. This one, Maria Rambeau, had like a yellow aura around
it was Captain Marvel's powers.
Yeah, but Captain Marvel, didn't she have like a bluish?
No, it was yellow.
Nah, I don't remember. Either way.
Don't go back. That movie was trash, but
yeah, that movie is trash. But that is what threw me off. I was like, no, there's no way they're gonna do something big. But they didn't. So I was wrong.
No.
I can admit it. I apologize. I will stop predicting things in movies. Marvel is throwing me curveballs lately.
Make the predictions. It's fun.
All right. So, what did you think of the movie overall, real quick? What out of 10?
Yeah, no spoilers. I would say, I would give it a solid 8. You know what I mean? Like, I would recommend this to people that if you like Sam Raimi stuff, like Evil Dead or Army of Darkness, you probably might like this movie. Especially if you're not a Marvel fan, I think you might get a kick out of this movie. But if you're a Marvel fan, you're gonna hate this movie. Like, if you're hardcore into MCU stuff, yeah, you're not gonna like it. And personally, for me, I thought it was the best.
I'm hardcore into the MCU stuff, and I actually did like it. I think it was a 7.5 out of 10, not quite an 8. Not one of the worst movies, not one of the best. I think it's middle of the pack, but higher, almost into the top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Depending on how many more movies come out, it might slip into the top third. But at this point, I don't think it's just in the middle, higher in the middle, but in the middle still.
I would say, like right now, as of all the Phase 4 stuff that we got, this is the top, like without a doubt.
Of all the Phase 4 stuff, I mean, all we had was what, Moon Knight?
No, well, I mean, we had quite a lot. WandaVision, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals.
I don't think Black Widow is Phase 4.
It is. Starting from WandaVision, it's Phase 4. Far From Home was the end of Phase 3.
But Black Widow takes place in the past. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. Based on chronologically in the story, yeah, it's a prequel, but it's part of Phase 4 because of what it sets up, right? Yelena's is pretty a significant character so far, right? Like, we've seen her appear in multiple times.
I guess
it is Phase 4, but like, I know what you mean. Like, obviously it's a Phase 3 movie chronologically, but it's what it introduces is part of Phase 4, especially with the end credit.
Yeah, I guess they're saying WandaVision, Falcon,
Falcon
Hawkeye.
and Hawkeye. What if? What if is obviously pretty significant. And then Moon Knight, and then Miss Marvel. I don't even know when.
But why is What If? Why
is it
is
connected?
What If considered part of Facebook? Yeah.
I mean, you watched the movie. There's a character from
I
What
did
If
watch the
that's
movie.
in the movie.
There isn't a character from What If. That
Yeah,
was
what are
part
you
of my
talking
issue with
about?
the movie.
What are you talking about? Captain Carter's was a What If character.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about the Doctor Strange because everyone was
No.
like, evil Doctor Strange. What If? I'm like, no.
Yeah,
it's not.
that one was a bait. That was bait. No, Captain Carter's a What If character. Like all the even because we were talking. I was
But
talking
I
about
don't
this.
think, and here's why I'm saying.
Yeah, go.
I'm gonna tweak it just a little. I don't think that that's the same Captain Carter.
Yeah, it's not
from the What If.
Yeah, it's
So it's
most
not
likely
technically
not.
like, right? So
Mhm.
it's sort of the character from the What If, and I understand the connection, but it's not really that same Captain Carter. It's like a different universe.
It's a different universe. Yeah, that's the thing about this is it's very somewhat confusing about the universes and the multiverse that were shown here. Because that Evil Strange was not the one from the What If series, which was very weird. Because why wouldn't you do that? You know what I mean? Like he was obviously an interesting character. Like, and obviously What If was in development during the movie, right? So it's not like they didn't know that they were going to develop that they were developing this episode, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we got Black Widow, Shang-Chi. I forgot all about that movie, and I like that movie. Eternals.
Yeah, I did too.
So
yeah,
and
Eternals
Spider-Man are Phase 4. So yeah, we have quite a lot. So yeah, this is probably the best Phase 4 movie or property. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
I did not watch Snake Eyes, Albert, but Doctor Strange 2. So the basic premise is you got America Chavez. She has powers where she could punch a hole into space, time, and travel through different dimensions, realities. They're kind of up in the air with what it is exactly because in Endgame, it's all about time travel, and time travel creates new realities. And in Loki, it's kind of time travel-y, but there's like variants, so there could be different people in different realities, but it's the same person even though it looks different. And in this one, it's just like dimensions. Like they're just all over the place. They haven't like decided exactly how this works, but
well, that's the thing because from what I understand, and this is one of my criticisms, is there's a lot of stuff that are connected. Like the events of Loki at the ending have significant ramifications. Like in No Way Home, apparently the reason why the spell went wrong wasn't because of Peter. It was because of what happened in Loki, which to me is stupid, right? And I was arguing with people on Twitter as I usually do, but like people are trying to argue, oh, that was so obvious, but it's like no one actually in the universe actually explains the ramifications of what happened at the ending, right? Like it would have made sense if it was like, oh, this was like a twist, like everything up until Loki or after Loki is actually the wrong history, right? Like that's not actually what was supposed to happen. Then that would be an interesting twist. But for him, like Kevin Feige came out and said this on the red carpet in an interview, and it's like, what the hell? Like, why would you say that's like a significant part of the lore, right? So I don't know. I thought that was really weird, and yeah, there's a bunch of other stuff like that in this movie.
Yeah. See, I didn't even know that Kevin Feige. I don't watch all the interviews, so I didn't know Kevin Feige said that. So, but even that doesn't make any sense because again,
it doesn't.
Loki's like a lot of Loki's time travel and stuff. That's how they set it up, right? The TV time variant authority, and so if like the way it's supposed to work in the Marvel universe, the comic books, each event that has multiple possibilities veers off into its own what if dimension, right?
Mm-hmm.
And two realities. They even explained it in the comics. Two realities could be almost identical, except for in one reality, Blinded's wearing a blue shirt, and in this one, he's wearing a red shirt, and everything else is identical except for that one fact.
Yeah.
Right? So,
but that's not how it is in the MCU, which is confusing.
And the
this is the
MCU
part
is
they
all
don't
over.
explain. So what it is in the MCU is it's not that. So the multiverse before Loki didn't actually exist, right? This is from my understanding, right? So because of the ending of Loki, what happened is the sacred timeline was split and therefore created the multiverse, and that's why we have the multiverse. Is because they obviously killed the one who remains, and he was guarding the sacred timeline, and it split, right? And it created all this problems and stuff. And I just think that's really weird, right? Because it's like you just made it even more confusing. Like the multiverse, in my opinion, is quite easy to understand. It's just another universe where different events, minor or major, are change, right? So it's like the multiverse technically would already exist, but in the Marvel universe, it didn't, which is weird to me. I don't really understand why you needed to have a moment that establishes the multiverse. Like, why can't it just be a thing that exists?
But
I just thought that was weird.
But in the Loki series, right, they tell you that there was a multiverse.
Yeah.
Because there's a multiversal war that ends with the sacred timeline being established. So they would not be creating the multiverse. They'd just be re-establishing the multiverse.
Yeah, you could say, yeah. But I mean, like, even that is like, why just not say the multiverse always exists? Like, you only threw that in there because it's a reference to an event that you're probably going to do down the line.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they did that, which I think is weird.
But back to the actual Doctor Strange story, we veer off all the time. So American Chavez is the MacGuffin. She's the object people need to get because she can cross dimensions at will, except for not at will because she can't really control her powers.
No.
And some evil demon wants to find her. Within, I would say, like 15 minutes of the movie, we find out that the evil demon's actually Wanda. Wanda's the evil demon. She completely fucks up and accidentally reveals to Doctor Strange that, she knows who America is. She's been chasing her. Wanda goes nuts. She wants her children. And now this didn't make any sense to me. Okay, so she wants her children that never existed, right? She created them out of thin air, but she wants them back. So she doesn't just recreate them, right? Because she has the power to change reality. So she doesn't just recreate them. Okay. She wants to go to another dimension. Which is
what she originally did.
Yeah. So she wants to go to another dimension. They don't establish that in this other dimension, because she doesn't like say, I have to go to dimension 7, right? She's just like, I'm going to go to another one. She just random picks a dimension, right?
Yeah. And I guess that's because of America Chavez's powers, because like, it's not like she can go to an exact universe. It was just random.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But what I'm getting at is they didn't establish if in this other universe those kids were real or if they were also created by their Wanda. Because when they go over there, there's no Vision. Vision's not even mentioned.
Yeah, that's the confusing part.
So she wants to get these other kids. She wants to be their mom. She's going to kill the other Wanda, take her place, be their mom, get the powers of America Chavez, use that powers to protect the kids forever, never let any harm befall them. Also, she's batshit insane. She chases Doctor Strange around. It was quite weird. I didn't like what they did with Shuma Gorath. He just became a monster.
Yes, I didn't like that either. It was just a throwaway villain. That's what Marvel likes to do. That's the thing that pisses me off. Yeah, like, I don't know why. They kind of just did that because the title is Lovecraftian and, let's throw a Lovecraftian Marvel character in there. But it's like, yeah, but that character has, like, he's not just like a mindless fucking goon. So,
not just that, but they threw in the Lovecraftian character. But then, because they couldn't use the name, they call it a different name.
They changed it, yes.
So then why even put the character in if the whole like?
I don't know if maybe that was like a last minute thing. They found out, oh shit, we don't actually have the rights to his name.
But they don't even call it. They don't even refer to it as anything.
I know. Yeah, I think it's just for merchandise then.
Yeah.
And the credits. That's really it. Could have called him whatever. Tentacle Eye Monster.
The beginning of the movie. Now, here's what didn't make any sense to me. Okay. So America Chavez is getting chased by a demon. This creature, I don't know what it is. They don't even really explain what the creature is that's chasing them at the beginning. It's like some random monster.
It's just random, yeah.
And a Doctor Strange from whatever dimension, they don't explain where he comes from either. But he's helping America Chavez. And it gets to a point where she gets grabbed and he's like, I got to take your powers, right? I got to take your powers so that the monster doesn't get it, right? The demon doesn't get your powers. And in the process of taking your powers, you're going to die. Okay? Why didn't he just kill her? Because taking her powers seemed to take a while, right? It wasn't like instantaneous. He was like trying to draw her power out. I'm pretty sure he could have just shot a fucking razor blade thing that magical.
But what I didn't understand was what good would have done anyway, taking her
because he
powers.
could control it, and then he would be able to open portals and escape from the demon without being captured.
I mean, but that's not really a good reason. I was very confused by that because it's like, I mean, it's not like Wanda's gonna stop chasing you, and we already saw that Wanda was like super, super powerful in this movie, right?
But
so
again,
it's like,
so why did he just kill her?
I mean, I guess they already had some.
He was going to take her powers, and that was going to kill her anyway. Killing her would eliminate her powers from the board completely, right? No Chavez, no powers. Demons fucked.
Yeah, I think that was another problem with the movie is that American Chavez you're introducing that character, and I don't think they did a good job of like making you feel like, oh, like she's a surrogate daughter to Doctor Strange. Like that's what they should have done, but you don't really get that impression. Like it should have shown you in other universes. Like I mean, you could have that opening, but you can see in other universes how like they were like kind of like a father and daughter kind of situation, just to like, oh, this is why it's important, right? Because this is like the destiny of Doctor Strange, right? He has to protect his surrogate daughter. But they didn't really have that angle. Like I think that would have made more sense too, because then it all connects with Wanda's story. So I just felt like his story just didn't fit thematically with Wanda's. It just felt really like two separate stories coming together and hitting each other. That's what it felt like.
The whole thing with so Wanda, she got the evil book. Eventually, the evil book gets destroyed. Turns out, hey, the evil book's actually written on the walls of Wundagore Mountain, which was a nice little touch that they added the actual mountain. They mentioned the demon Chithon. Nice little touch.
Who should have been in the movie, by the way.
Should have been.
Yeah, he should have been like the one that was like controlling Wanda. It's because like just to say, oh, the dark hold corrupts, right? Because I know that's the excuse that a lot of people are saying, oh, that's why Wanda's evil. But here's the thing, right? It's so done it's done sloppily and so poorly that it is lazy, right? Like you have another character say, oh, the dark hold corrupts. That's why she's evil. And it's like, okay, maybe you should have like shown that or like have a figure manipulate her. So then it's a little bit more sympathetic because it's like, I don't feel all that sympathetic toward her because of how her story is already situated, right? Where it's like, okay, you want your kids back, but you went to the Darkhold and there wasn't really an incentive to go to the Darkhold. You just took it and you're like, oh, I'm just going to randomly. Yeah, she didn't know, right? And so
in WandaVision, she just has the book at the end.
Yeah, she gets it from Agatha because Agatha was corrupted by the book. That's what happens, right? So, I didn't really like. I get what people are saying. It feels really weird and abrupt that she goes from this like sympathetic arc of like having her kids, and then she can't be with Vision, and she has to learn that she can't be with Vision, to now this where she's like, oh, I'm corrupted by the Darkhold. Like people are like, but that's the story. But it's like they could have written it in a way that feels more connective and more organic. Like, oh, someone was like, hey, listen, I can give you everything you want. It kind of like a monkey's paw situation. Oh, I can give you what you want. And then she's like, okay, you know what? I'll follow suit, right? Just for, because a lot of people are like that. They'll do stuff for money or things for their family, right? Like, just like Breaking Bad, right? Like, that's a perfect example of a story that does that. So I just felt it was, to me, it was just very cheap. It was like, okay, what's the simplest way that we can get into, having her as a villain instead of it being, like paying attention to the character and like respecting the character.
Yeah, I think, like you're saying, they should have shown maybe her talking to the Darkhold and the Darkhold talking back, imply that it seduced her. Like the whole idea that, hey, those kids are real. I can show you a dimension where your kids are real, but you got to do X, Y, and Z, and you got to give yourself over to the darkness or whatever, some bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
What didn't make sense was they destroyed the Darkhold, right? Why couldn't she use the magic anymore? They never established that the book has to exist to use the magic from the book. Like every other spell,
and that's weird.
Fucking doing shit, right? She can change reality, but oh no, my book is destroyed. I can't do this magic no more.
I felt that it was so weird that the title of the movie is a Lovecraft movie. You brought in Sam Raimi, who in The Evil Dead, there was a Necronomicon that has like a significant role in the story, and they did nothing with the Darkhold that was interesting. It was just, it's an evil book and it corrupts, and it's like you couldn't have, like what you're saying, like couldn't have it been its own entity or like something that is like talking and manipulating people. Like why is it just got to be some book? Because it's like there's like multiple books that they're trying to get, right? The book of Vishanti.
Yeah, that's an actual
Vishanti,
book.
yeah.
That's the book he reads in the Doctor Strange comics that you said sucked.
I never said that sucked. That's the one in. No, I never said that. Doctor Strange. I said Doctor Strange books weren't that great. Like, you know what I mean? Like they haven't been like so amazing.
They were pretty good back in the 70s. The 70s books.
Like like I told you, I said I liked the Stan Lee and Ditko run. Like that was pretty good. But then everything else, it's been like whatever.
Well,
like I feel like there's some missed opportunities.
They've been back and forth with him. He loses his powers and gets them back. He makes deals with devils. He splits. At one point, he split into 3 different people.
Yeah.
It's just a mess. But anyway, the book really should have seduced her. They should have really emphasized that, hey, those kids are real. They weren't created by Wanda. That reality, those kids are definitely, real. That's why she's getting them. Because again, they're not her kids. She would recognize the fact that that's another dimension. Those are not my kids. If she was like going to hell, if she was like, hey, I have to go to hell to get my kids' souls back because that's where they ended up because I created them and they weren't real or some bullshit, right? Then I would buy it and be like, okay, that makes sense, right? But the whole idea that she's just like, I'm going to just grab 2 random, or even if she was like, I'm going to get all the Billy and Tommies from every dimension, right? So that kind of makes sense too. Like she's going to get all of them because she wants all the kids. But she was just like, I'm just going to get those 2 random ones from this random dimension.
And that was another, that's another thing about this movie. It's like, it's called the multiverse, but they only travel to like 3 like universes. And I think that's only because how they get to the multiverse is like randomized, right? So how, like she didn't even, how did she even know that there was a Billy and Tommy just from, she just dreamed walked into the Wanda and realized, oh, she has kids. Like it's not like she knew going into it, right? Like,
right.
I don't think that's clearly explained, right? Yeah, she just dreamed walked into a random Wanda and it was like, oh, she has kids. I'm going to take these kids. It's like, what happens if those kids were evil, right? That's the whole idea of the multiverse. It's like anything can happen. But Wanda's just like, anything goes. So it was like, yeah.
They don't explain what happened to the main Baron Mordo. At the end of
No.
Doctor Strange, he was like, "I'm gonna start killing fucking wizards, too many wizards, right?" And then like he's never seen again. Like
From I might have an idea about this. So there's like there's some speculation going on that there were some major things cut from the movie. Obviously not Tom Cruise, but there was actually a beginning scene with Mardo, and he basically found out that she was using the Darkhold, and so he tries to stop her, but what ends up happening is she kills him. And I think they probably cut that because, well, that would be really stupid if they did that, right? Like you set up Baron Mordo and then you just kill him off, right? So I think it was a better idea if they just cut that out of the movie. So
I was a little disappointed with that. The Illuminati thing was fun, but what I didn't like was like John Krasinski comes out and it's like no big deal. He's Mr. Fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's like a dramatic reveal of Professor X, and like I'm like, we all know Patrick Stewart's in the movie. We all know he's playing Professor X. Like, why is this like a 30-second dramatic reveal of a thing that we know?
I
like,
think
John
it was
Krasinski
again
should have been the reveal because I was like, oh,
yeah,
look, John Krasinski.
Because I think it's I think the reason why that happened is again things that were cut out of the movie or like because that whole like John Krasinski and Black Bolt, that was reshoots, right? So there was another character that was supposed to be in the movie, and I think was probably in that same sequence. No, it was supposed to be Baldur the Brave, and I think it was Bruce Campbell playing him. So and they ended up cutting that out because it didn't like people didn't know who the character was from the test screening.
But Baldur the Brave is already in Thor.
No, Baldur the Brave is not in Thor.
Yes, he's in Thor. He's credited in Thor as one of the guys in the background.
Oh, like in a background, like cameo. Well, it was still going to be Baldur the Brave. Like it was a different. Marvel didn't even use Baldur the Brave.
I know that's why if you watch the first Thor, it's like
I didn't even know that.
Background.
It's just some random dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that. They even did that with the Hulk with what's his name? Cho, I forget his name.
Amadeus.
I forget his first. Yeah. They did that with him too. It's just like some fucking throwaway character. This is weird, but yeah, he was supposedly supposed to be in it, and Bruce Campbell was playing him, and it just didn't test well, so they cut it, and then they replaced it with Black Bolt and Mr. Fantastic. So that's probably why the reveal is weird, because it's like, yeah, this is a big character that we didn't know was going to be in the movie, and then you have this big introduction to Patrick Stewart, which is probably older footage that they shot. So I don't know, it's weird.
The whole Black Bolt thing, while it was cool that she closed his mouth and the like sonic waves bounced back and like blew up his skull, kind of didn't make sense.
Yeah, for the character. If you're going off of the comics, yeah, it doesn't really make sense. Like it's probably just there as a fuck you to the TV show. That's what I felt like it was.
Was that really the dude from the TV show? Because I've heard
yes
both ways.
Yes, it's a guy from I don't remember his name, but he's in the new Star Trek. Yeah, it was him. And speaking of this Illuminati thing, I hate John Krasinski was one of the worst things in this movie. He's very short. It was really bad. It was so bad. Like it's very wooden, and it was honestly the worst part of the movie. When I see people talking about how they're excited, I'm like, just the fact that he is going to be Reed Richards, it makes me not. Yeah, I know that's the big thing, but I mean, why wouldn't he though now?
Well, just because because remember there could be variants, so they could always just be like, well, he didn't test well, so fuck it. We're not gonna, the fans wanted him, that's why we put him in the movie. Little fan service, but he's not going to be.
I mean, if you like it and like other people like it, and they see that, they're going to keep it.
That's what I'm saying.
For me, I don't know why it was in the movie. When you see his performance, you're like, what the fuck is this? This seems like he just showed up and like I know the costume CGI, but he doesn't even look like, you know, they just got him in and the guy's looking kind of schlubby, and you know all of his lines were just so wooden and monotone, and just like there was no emotion in it. It just, to me, for a short little introduction, it was not a good introduction for the character. Like that should have not been Reed Richards. Put any other character.
Beyond
Get
that,
the other guy back.
Beyond that, it didn't make any sense, right? Because Wanda goes in there and they're like, she's just beating the shit out of all the fucking Ultron bots, right? Pew, pew, pew.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think they'd say, hey, Professor X, why don't you call up those X-Men to come help us? Hey, Reed Richards, why don't you get the rest of that Fantastic Four to show up? Because we know those, they have to exist, right? You can't have Professor X without the X-Men. And you can't have Reed Richards wearing a Fantastic Four logo without the rest of the Fantastic Four existing.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, we're just going to leave all those characters somewhere outside who we can't see.
Well, they did that. They only did that because, well, Reed Richards is on the Illuminati in the comics.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm saying in the context of the movie, when you're like, shit's going down, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, hey, let's leave all our heavy hitters on the sideline because Reed Richards' stretchy powers, that's going to fuck her up. That's going to win the day.
Well, that's another thing about that universe that's weird, because it seems like there was no Avengers in that universe. Because remember, they beat Thanos,
right?
So
but
they probably were cocky.
You have to, but you still have to assume that there has to be a Fantastic Four, right? He has. A Four costume.
Oh yeah, like I definitely wouldn't doubt that there's a Fantastic Four. There's like multiple references to it without saying it.
That's what I'm saying. So they left the Fantastic Four on the sideline. There has to be other mutants, right? They left, and so even if you say, well, maybe they're not quite the X-Men, but there's got to be other mutants out there that Xavier has reached out to. So they left them on the sideline. The Hydra Stomper still exists, right? Because that's the whole Captain Carter story, right?
I mean, we don't know that yet. We don't know, because you remember the Hydra Stomper is supposed to be Winter Soldier. That was at the ending. Yeah, that's what they teased, that he was the Winter Soldier.
Maybe I missed that.
Yeah, it's at the ending of What If. He's in the chamber and stuff.
Maybe I was getting something different. I thought they were just healing him. I didn't think that was like the Winter Soldier.
No, yeah, he's the Winter Soldier. The armor, the logo.
Like I said, I was probably not paying attention. But either way, I would imagine that in that universe, there's no Avengers because Iron Man wouldn't exist because the dad made the Hydra Stomper. So then,
Iron Man. Well, there has to be some sort of Iron Man character because remember, Ultron is there,
right?
So like, unless that's Hank Pym, like the comics,
the Ultron robots were different, so that might have been Reed Richards who made them, and not Tony Stark.
Yeah, like we don't. Who knows who made that? But we just know in the MCU. Like that's the thing about this this movie and the multiverse. It's like they didn't really do a good job explaining. Yeah, like explaining it and then also showing, right? Because like the whole idea of What If is, oh, this one thing changes everything, right? And they were kind of doing that, but they didn't tell you, so you kind of have to guess. Like the Captain Marvel, like Maria Rambeau being Captain Marvel is like, oh, okay, that's a what if scenario, right? Because instead of Carol, it's Maria who goes on the plane with Marvel, right? Or goes outside with Marvel and all that shit happens. So it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But then the other characters are like, what's the what if scenario around you? Like,
but that didn't make sense either, and here's why. Because then the timeline doesn't fit. Because Maria or Captain Marvel happens in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, no, you don't. Maria was there. Was there? Remember?
But I'm saying Captain Marvel's in the 90s. At the end of You have to follow. She would have to follow the same. Like she's in the 90s, gets the powers, goes off, comes back, has adventures, blah blah blah. Right?
Well, I mean, shit. We would just assume things played out differently. Like she could have maybe stayed. I mean, if you think about it too, this is another thing. Her costume was actually the Kree outfit. Like she didn't change it, like Carol. So that it could be possible that maybe she's instead of I don't know coming back to Earth, like instead of basically the Captain Marvel movie happening, she actually stays with the Kree. Because I mean, why else does she have the same color outfit? Like the reason why Carol changed it was because she's like, oh, I don't want nothing to do with the Kree army.
It's true, but she has to have come back to Earth and joined the Illuminati.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's just, I mean, we
what,
won't
what
know.
I'm saying is when Thanos comes, it's like 2022. They had to call Captain Marvel in order to. So there has to be a Nick Fury, and then. But if there's a Nick Fury, then there has to be Avengers, and then again, now we're getting into all these questions of why this ended up where it's at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did we get?
I mean, I think if you that's what the movie breaks when you think way too much about it because it is like, it's like okay, well, I kind of want to see what happened here because they don't show when you would think they would have. It's called the Multiverse of Madness. Like, why didn't you show? Some montage sequence or let the premise be, oh, they're traveling and meeting all these different people, right? Like that's how I was going into it thinking it was going to be, oh, it's going to be like a road trip, but in multiverse, and there's going to be a horror element. But we didn't really get that at all, which I think is a big missed opportunity. Like you didn't need all these cameos, but like creatively, why didn't you explore more of the multiverse? I just thought it was weird.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a fun movie overall. I mean, if you don't think too much, you just sit back, watch it. It's a pretty good movie. I think.
Yeah, well, that's why the Marvel fans probably won't like it.
If you, what I thought was a huge missed opportunity was at the very end, Bruce Campbell. They should have implied that he was Mysterio because. He was supposed to be, right? Supposedly, in the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, he appears in all three, and supposedly, they had said that he was going to play Mysterio in the fourth movie.
Yeah, I think they probably couldn't do it. Like, not to not to be a downer, but I think they just couldn't do it.
They could have did something like when he's beating himself up, he falls in like a fishbowl type.
I mean, like logistically, couldn't do it because it's like you got to go like through Sony.
Like I said, you just imply it, right? He's beating himself up.
Oh yeah, you could have
over
done
a
that.
bowl falls on his head, so it looks like he's wearing a fishbowl. Like,
Okay, yeah, that would have been clever. Okay, yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah, I would have preferred that.
So then you kind of get it, right? Everyone knows what it is. It's like, oh, they're hinting at it, but he gets his little moment. I think that was. I'm sure if they talked to Sony, it was like, hey, Sony, we want to do, say that he's a variant of Mysterio in this other dimension. I'm sure Sony would be like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit. Give me $10,000 and you do whatever the fuck you want. We killed him off anyway. He's dead. What the fuck do we care?
Yeah. I felt the ending of the movie is where it's like, yeah, this is when it turns into a Sam Raimi movie, and it just gets like really fucking insane. And there's some just like him wearing the undead as a cape, like that was really just like totally out there. And like I guess it's maybe just too Marvel, but I felt it was different enough where you're like, yeah, this is I actually was enjoying it, like especially just like the shots and everything, and like the whole movie I felt was just like different. Like, yes, it's a Marvel movie, it's written like a Marvel movie, but it just does not look like a Marvel movie. Just like the way some of the effects are, like there's this whole sequence where it's just like double exposed shots of like different there was like Doctor Strange and America Chavez and Wong, and and it was just like this whole monologue sequence with Mardo. Like that was totally different. What else was there? The music battle was weird. It just felt like, again, like very Sam Raimi, where they're just like doing this music note battle. I really didn't hate the movie at all, right? Like if I was expecting cameos and all this fucking lore, that's because that's what I've seen from, especially with Marvel fans, where they're like, they had all these high expectations of what was going to be this movie, how it was going to set up, how it was going to tie into other stuff, and it just doesn't do that. But I feel like it's okay that it doesn't do that, right? It's like, if you want to have a cameo fest, like why not just wait a couple, like another 10 years to do that? You know, like, so I'm not bothered by it at all. You know, I was even saying I might even watch it again.
Like I said, it was a good movie, fun movie, enjoyed it. 7.5.
Yeah.
If you think too far, too deep into anything, you're just gonna ruin the movie. You're like, this just falls apart. Falls apart very easily. It's very, very thin layer.
Yeah.
But I would recommend it. It's very good. The little bit at the end where Clea comes out. I'm not a big Charlize Theron fan, but it's kind of iffy on that.
Yeah, and they hint towards some interesting stuff like Secret Wars. So, I mean, like people, like Marvel fans, I feel like they just, I don't know, man. They have like really, like I'm a Marvel fan, but like the diehard Marvel fans, right? Like the ones that probably don't read the comics, don't really care for the comics. They just watch the movies. Like I feel like they were the ones who got shafted and got burned. And I mean, I really don't feel bad for them though. I kind of find them annoying. So.
All right. Well, with that said, that's all for that.
Yeah.
The one thing that I want to say, the last thing I want to say about Doctor Strange was when they were talking about he went into another universe and that caused an incursion, right?
Mm-hmm.
They left the dead body of a Doctor Strange in the wrong universe. Did that not count? Like once you die, your dead body's okay to be in another universe? It's only if you're alive.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what caused the incursion. It could have been like multiple things that caused the incursion. So we'll have to see because it obviously hasn't been explained.
I think it was just a cop out.
Maybe. You never know. Marvel always likes to do cop outs too. So.
All right. Are we gonna watch DJC Miko Forever? It's an hour and 14 minutes.
Might have to swap out with Gary if he's if he's still around.
I don't think he is.
Oh man, I have no. I don't watch anything from DJC, so I'm just gonna be like this, just quiet, because I have no context or clue.
I mean, we could schedule something for tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah, if you guys want.
Thank you all for joining us. What started as a Nintendo Indie World turned into other things. What's up, Rabbit Dude? We're just getting ready to get off. Hopefully, Blinded cuts the little bit of Gary, and he cuts the little bit of. It's always good.
I'll cut both of them. Yeah.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for joining us. As always, like, share, subscribe to the channel. And love, peace, booty grease. And we out this bitch.
Peace.